rate my queens, stand tall, your kings. I believe in you, just believe in me. Every day a test, time it seems hard to breathe. I will not follow, cause I was born to lead. I was born to lead. I was born to lead. Don't rate my queens, don't rate my queens. Stand tall, your kings. You were born to lead. Don't rate my queens, stand tall, your kings. I believe in you, just believe in me. Every day a test, time it seems hard to breathe. I will not follow, cause I was born to lead. Like you're drowning, coming right out the gate. The world around me had me filled with dismay. I party to play the main part of the play. The part has been played by the boy who's been played with. And I don't know gayness, but the girl from the hood used to take it. And then later, in the days when I started playing, still is raping. He's 16, he like what she taking. The 13-year girl used to take it. And then later, and then make it. Feel amazing, feel amazing. Don't rate my queens, stand tall, your kings. I believe in you, just believe in me. Every day a test, time it seems hard to breathe. I will not follow, cause I was born to lead. I was born to lead. I was born to lead. Don't rate my queens, don't rate my queens. Stand tall, your kings. You were born to lead. Little girl, feel fright. See your mama blurred line, drugs, deals in sight. Call her mama's boyfriends, feel me now. Cause a few dollars more, could be around. Late night in the room, playing field around. Now she grown, can't keep a man, 3 kids down. Had a successful career, since feel me now. And she can't stand me. Picture why. Did some strange things for change. Now she in position. Did some strange things for change. Now she in position. Young girl scared, don't have no one to listen. All because mama wanna exercise a pimpin'. Don't rate my queens, stand tall, your kings. I believe in you, just believe in me. Every day a test, time it seems hard to breathe. I will not follow, cause I was born to lead. I was born to lead. I was born to lead. Don't rate my queens, don't rate my queens. Stand tall, your kings. You were born to lead. Don't rate my queens, stand tall, your kings. I believe in you, just believe in me. Every day a test, time it seems hard to breathe. I will not follow, cause I was born to lead.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Street Talk Daily, where your voice matters and your truth is power, and the streets are always watching. Tonight, we're diving into week 3 of the Diddy trial, and it's getting real, y'all. Explosive testimonials from Deonte Nash and Capricorn Clark. They paint a dark picture behind the scenes of hip-hop royalty. So we're also going to break down the rumors surrounding Larry Hoover's pardon. He's supposed to be free tonight by President Trump. So is freedom finally here for Larry Hoover? And things get wow. As I got the call that Uncle Gene Dill supposed to have laid them hands on do not, whatever his name is. I think it's do not. In a confrontation, they got everybody talking in these YouTube streets, y'all. So get ready. We don't sugarcoat nothing over here. So let's talk about it. Let's get busy, y'all, tonight and talk about it. We gonna talk about it. Yes. Peace, sis. What's good with you tonight? How you doing?
I'm good. Greetings and salutations. How you doing this evening?
I am excellent day. Been hearing about all the news in the streets. Oh man, what is going on, my sister? What's all this chaos? Oh
Yes,
my.
it's a lot going on in these YouTube streets. A
For
lot.
real.
It's so much, nefariousness to cover, sis. We got everything from, I don't know if you've been hearing about the stuff with Remy Ma and Papoose. Then we got the stuff with, what's her name? Mm, the one that's her former hairstylist is coming out exposing her about her cheating on Mendeezy Yandy. I
Who?
mean, oh yeah. I mean, it's so much. It's so
Andy. Who is Andy?
Yandy and Mendeezy from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
think it's Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, yeah. But oh
yeah.
sis,
Oh, they
yeah.
got a lot going on, huh?
Oh, it's a lot going on, and and the ex hairstylist was dragging and exposing Yandy for cheating on Mendeezy, and Mendeezy had been cheating all the time. It's just a mess. The same kind of situation, sort of like with the Remy Ma and Papoose thing, and it's sad because they're the younger generation, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, is this what the ones other than them got to look forward to? It's gonna be a hot mess because a lot of younger generation, they love their reality TV stuff,
TV. Yeah. Yeah.
and they looking at these couples and I'm thinking, is all they have to look forward to and offer? The superficialness, the narcissisticness that's going on between these couples and all the nefarious behavior, you know, uh Papoose and Remy was supposed to be all about black love and black love this and black love that, and then Mendeezy and Yandy supposed to be in like the same kind of couple that's setting the example, raising the bar. What do they call it? Couples goals and all, and it just yeah,
Wow.
it's all going down the drain. And I'm really, really saying if the younger generation under them is looking at this as them being examples of what leadership, if what black love and couples goals supposed to be, then honey, they are in for a bumpy ride of nothing but falsehood and toxic behavior, unfortunately.
Hopefully they can wake up out of that um mindset. Because, believe it or not, a lot of the younger generation, I don't know if they're the X gen, the Y gen. I know
No,
around
they
2019
the
doing
middle. I think they millennials, but they under the
a
Nexus.
lot of them
So
are awakening, seeing them out there fighting for what they believe in, you know what I'm saying, what happened to George Floyd. And I think they just came upon his fifth anniversary. Um, just the fact that they were out there, they were protesting, they're questioning things instead of just doing what they're told. They're asking questions. So a lot of them are a little bit more wiser than we think that they are. You know,
I I might have to disagree to a certain degree with that because what they're doing is reality TV has, made them become these fakes and phony people that's living these phony lives, and they try to portray, to a certain masses of generation of people under them that's looking at them, saying that, oh, they living a good life and oh, they got this and that and the other and their life seems perfect and it's not. And now you're really seeing the real because they are on social media, exposing each other and telling private and personal business that, before social media would never ever be brought to a major platform for the masses to see and hear. But this is where we at and this is what we doing. They are not handling it, on a private level. When you're talking about divorce, where there's children involved, separation, infidelity, you talking about all these things are done we know that these things were always going on in families, especially in our culture, in our communities, right? But it was just a certain way things were being panned out. When you talk about divorce, when children are involved, now you're dragging the children, putting them in the middle of it. Then the everybody, certain people taking strays. The new lady or the new guy, is taking strays and being drugged into the middle of all the toxicity and the drama between the couple, and Mendeezy and Yandy, they're still married. I think the ink ain't even quite dry on Remy Ma and Papoose. So I don't think they setting good examples. I think, yeah, they did a certain good thing with the whole George Floyd thing, but I think they did a lot of that too because the cameras was on them. You know what I mean? I think but the behavior when the cameras ain't on them, this is what we getting, because now they're getting bold to do stuff with the cameras on and with the cameras off. You know, I mean, look what Remy Ma was doing when the cameras was on. At her those um those rap, whatever they call them, where they debate or rap against each other. What do they call those battles? Yeah, I mean, she's showing up with her new man in front of everybody, ain't out loud and proud. I mean, it just
I was thinking OG as a whole for the young youth. Okay, so now I get it. You're talking about what's going on in these damn reality TV streets and how the younger generation are following the images and they believe that shit, but they was coming through that television when it comes to like reality TV. Okay, so I agree with you, yeah, to that degree.
But now their personal lives is spilling out, and their personal lives is being, broadcast on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, before social media, when you handling a nasty divorce, with your wife or your husband, especially when it's kids involved, you want to be as private as possible because you don't want your children. It's already enough that the children are being pulled in between the middle, trying to, because one parent might be trying to make the kids go against the other parent. You got to decide. Kids get heavily involved in that, and they are the ones that suffer the most. But because these adults that are acting like children can't see they past their own feelings, nobody gets hurt but the children in this. That's all I'm saying, and it's just now we seeing it live and in living color on Instagram, because Paps and Remy Ma, they doing a sparring contest. Every time one say something the other one don't like, the other one got to get on their, Instagram. And what I don't like about what Remy Ma is doing, which is very narcissistic, and in her smear campaign against Papoose, is she's emasculating this man. I don't like when women do that, no matter what,
how you feel about a man. You don't want to emasculate a man.
Because at the end of the day, you chose that man once upon a time. You married him and you had a child with him. So now you want to get on Instagram and you want to emasculate the man. She's calling him ugly. She's calling him.
Are you serious? Not that fine.
Girl.
Oh no, yeah. She know that man ain't ugly. Come on, girl.
She's
stop it, Remy.
Now listen, I'll tell you the truth. I believe both of them are narcissistic, right? I believe they are. I believe she's overt, and I believe Paps is covert. Honestly, Paps is doing his low key with what he's doing, taking Remy coming out being very overt, but she's being very petty. She's doing the smear campaign. She is emasculating him. She's calling them names. She's degrading them, calling them dumb. And I think he was asking her the day that their daughter graduation is coming up, and I think he missed it by one date. I think he said June 6th, and she's like, it's June 5th, dummy, you dumb. What are you dumb?
What?
Rating emasculation thing. She's doing that to Paps. Now I haven't heard Paps call out her name because we know men can go there too, but I will say he is not doing that to her. He's basically addressing whatever or trying to debunk whatever lie he claims she's telling, right? Like attack that. But she's attacking him. And I'm noticing the difference in that which says to me, you're still angry, you're still bitter and jaded about some things, Remy. And
Yeah.
I don't like
mean,
when
he's just spilling the beans. He's telling all her dirty laundry, how she was caught in a bed with another woman. I think it's so petty. I don't think
they both
do
petty.
That's petty.
Yeah, they both are absolutely being petty because now they talking out of their household and in their bedroom and all of that. Again, Paps is just as wrong, but Remy is emasculating him as a man. You know what I'm saying? And regardless, like I said, both of them are not. Both of them are smear campaigning each other, right? They both got this agenda where they coming. He's coming at her in that way by allegedly exposing that she's, bisexual and got caught in their bed, with, the girlfriend of hers or whatever, and she's doing the emasculation. So they both playing a dangerous game, and it's unfortunate because, like I said, the only people that end up getting hurt in this is the children. Because what if their daughter one day looks at that on social media, or a friend tells them, look at your mom and dad and what they doing to each other. So the daughter don't know what's going on now because she's young, right?
She's gonna see it later on.
Exactly. And we know children are cruel. They will show her that intentionally to show her, look at your mom and dad, what they doing to each other. Or she may stumble upon it on social media one day. That is what I say about when immature adults can't get past their own feelings. They are so self-absorbed and selfish that they're not thinking about their child, but they talking about the child, right? In the divorce, you talked about my child. Well, yeah, my daughter did, but you acting like you care, but you really don't care. Again, that's the selfishness of it, because if they did, they will resolve this matter off social media, and they're not doing that.
Not at all. Wow.
So yes, I found it problematic. That's all,
Yeah. So how you feeling about the Diddy case this week? Let's see what's going on with Diddy, the Diddy case. Let's see who spoke this week. We had Capricorn finally speak, right? Capricorn.
Yeah, I think she completed her.
She did.
Her, I think she's done with her. What do you call it when they get on the stand? The testimony.
Did she go through cross examination yet?
Yes, yeah, she did. Today they had a guy named Dante, who was Cassie's friend, and another former employee that worked for Bad Boy Entertainment, worked for Diddy and Bad Boy Entertainment, get up there and tell stories about their experience. It looks like Cassie's friend Dante, was brutalized by Diddy, I guess, trying to maybe defend his friend, maybe defend Cassie to some point. But then I believe the other person that worked for Diddy, saw the abuse, witnessed abuse. And, like most people, they did nothing or said nothing because they trying to keep their bag, trying to keep their job or whatever.
That testimony, I was like, everything was about keeping the bag, securing the bag, and all the stuff that Diddy did to her. And she came back, and he offered her a job, not directly to work with me, but to work with Cassie. After all that Diddy did to you, first of all, you used to work for Death Row Records. You used to work for Suge Knight. And then you got introduced to Diddy. Then you started working with Diddy. And then the way Diddy beat her up, I've been knew that Diddy beat this girl up so bad. And then she's supposed to be London's sister, not blood sister, but, I guess spiritual sister, since they probably spent a lot of time together in the industry. But it's ridiculous. Like, come on. Like,
I heard I thought they were blood sisters all those years. I thought they were blood sisters, but I just found out that they just like play sisters.
Yeah, they don't even look alike to be blood sisters. I never thought
they just both look bisexual. I mean biracial.
No, your mind that
No, because I would get ready to talk about something about that later. But listen, this is the selfishness and the feeling that people
So, OG, how could you care more about money than you do your self-esteem, your pride as a woman? You let this man you let Diddy beat you and Cassie all these women that he's assaulted, all of Cassie friends. Like, come on. Like,
That
you
comes
love
over.
money that much that you'll let a man disrespect you like that?
That comes with a part of selling their soul. It comes with a part of losing their integrity. To lose their morals. They don't they don't have self esteem, or their moral
Mm,
compass weakened. And when you are looking at like the psychology of people that make those choices, right? And a lot
yeah,
of times the excuses be, I got kids. I gotta keep food on the table, have somewhere to stay. I didn't have anywhere else to go. That was allegedly uh um Capricorn's thing. Like, she said Diddy had blackballed her or whatever, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
she was having a hard time finding a job. I think she had went and did a meeting with Jimmy Iovine and all of that, and they didn't, she couldn't get hired anywhere. So people will use their livelihood, they will use the bag, of course, and they will use all kind of excuses. It's like a psychology of, it's okay for me to lie to stay safe if it'll cover me and mine, but I just don't want to be lied to. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm pissed. It's the it's the it's the selfishness of us, and we all will compromise that to some point. We all have, even in the real world with regular jobs. We all, you got people every day going to jobs they hate their boss, they don't like, but they won't move. You know what I mean? They won't get another job. They won't step their game up and get better at something. We've all been and are guilty of that to some extent. These are the reason why people like them stay,
Mhm.
is because of those three choices that I gave you. It's okay for me to lie to shield myself and my family, to protect myself and my family, whether it's for my job, the bag, the money. I'm gonna throw it all out the way. But when you lie to me, then I'm pissed off at you now because you lied to me, and that is a very self-loathing thing, that in positions that we have all have put ourselves in at some point, if that makes sense. Because I remember being younger and working a job that I hated it, but I was always the type of
Mhm.
person, I'm gonna get to this point and I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna move to the next level. It's people that won't do that in the world for real right now. You got people that have been on jobs that they hate their bosses, they know some nefariousness is going on, but they endure it and they say nothing. That is the same mentality that those people have that stood and watched Diddy beat Cassie, didn't say anything because, hey, I gotta keep my job, my bag, my family. Capricorn, I got an autistic son. I gotta keep this job because I can't get hired nowhere else. I gotta this, I gotta that. They all making excuses, and we all have been guilty of that in life to some point. But I'm giving you the logical reason why people do that is because they will risk throwing everything out the window for the
Yeah,
family, for the family, for the this, for the that, for whatever, and for the limelight. Listen, they were being promised something as well. When you take it to talking about certain people, oh, if I just stay and endure this, he promised me my career. That I'm gonna be this big star, or I'm gonna be this big designer. Because he's wearing all my designs now. He's starting to wear my stuff. Other than Sean John. I made that suit he had on at the red carpet. So when they asking him, oh, Diddy, who you wearing tonight? So we do this as human beings. You understand? As people, we stay and we endure shit and we shut up and don't say nothing for whatever reason, whatever self-loathing reason it have for us at that moment in that time. And we will take some shit. We will take some abuse. We will take some lies and being lied to because we think it's coming real soon. I just got to endure this a little bit longer because he promised me. And Diddy was making those type of promises to Cassie, to some of his employees and everything.
Mhm.
But Capricorn had to go and report to HR all of the hours she had worked and never got paid for. I think it added up to like $80,000. And
Yeah,
then she
he owed
settled.
her a
Yeah,
lot
and
of
then she settled when, he paid her a bag when he beat her up. And then what she do? She came right back. You know what I'm
money.
saying? The mentality of that. I think that a lot of people won't admit, to some extent they all have accepted something that have crossed that boundary of morals, values, scruples, or what. Maybe not to the extent that they have, but believe you me, in real life, people have done that. Because, like I said, I know people every day that have been going to a job they hate for years. They complain, they moan, they groan, they gripe.
It's true.
They
They do it
still,
every day.
they still there, and then you know what they say? Girl, it's a job. It pays the bills. It's a job, but they won't get themselves
People
educated
are
where
so
they can make more money to leave that job. They won't leave. They won't take a chance to leave that job to get a better job. Sometimes you got to take a job less sometimes to have the peace. I have taken a job making less money just to have some peace if I couldn't stand that job. But
yeah,
we've,
I think we all done did that.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
The older you get, the less you tolerate. The older
and
you get, the less patience you have.
and the more experienced you are, you learn the value in that. You learn the value in your peace
Yeah.
means everything to you. And if I gotta make 5,000, 10,000 less than what I was making at this last job, where I'm highly stressed, I can't stand my boss, I hate everybody, I'm complaining, it's nefarious. There, somebody stealing, somebody doing this, everybody going with each other. I don't want to be around that talk. Then you make that decision, and you move on. You know what I mean? So people, let's be real. Majority of the people are not doing it because they be like, girl, I got a family to feed, and I tried looking for a job, and I can't find that. We'll make every excuse in the world, but that's just what we do,
That's what we
human.
do. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna recap yesterday. Well, Diddy, I know. Did you hear about the tampering with evidence, the Diddy case of them tampering with evidence?
What evidence? What part?
All right, let's get into it.
I
Okay.
didn't know that Diddy actually is being charged with tampering with some of these witnesses and victims before his trial started underneath the RICO charge. And the crazy thing is, what if I tell you that this same past behavior was alleged in Diddy's last criminal trial in the 1999 nightclub incident with J-Lo? They were alleging back in 1999 during that nightclub incident that Diddy was using his entourage to help mess with these witnesses. The one being named was Diddy's bodyguard, Uncle Paulie, who we keep hearing brought up in the current trial as a co-conspirator for a lot of different things that Diddy allegedly has done. And y'all know I'm about to break it all down, so let's get into it. This is the indictment for Diddy's current criminal charge, and as you can see under here, it says that he is being charged with multiple acts of tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant. This is separate from the charge of bribery of a witness that we can assume is when Diddy allegedly paid the hotel security $100,000 to make the video of him beating Cassie disappear. And this is another part in the indictment where it starts dealing some of the intimidation or bribery of a witness. When Diddy's authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, following public allegations of Combs' crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with false narratives of events in effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. Diddy was also accused of doing this again, but in jail while he was locked up. And this is one of the reasons why Diddy was denied bail. In my opinion, I feel like Diddy was so confident allegedly doing this because he had the same accusations against him in the 1999 nightclub incident trial. Diddy was accused of tampering with witnesses. According to phone records presented yesterday at Sean Puff Daddy Combs' trial for gun possession and bribery charges, members of his entourage exchanged phone calls with witnesses who later testified that Combs did not have a weapon during a 1999 nightclub incident. Sharice Myers, a security guard at the club, said on the stand that she never spoke to Diddy after the incident took place, but phone records show a 3-minute call from her home to Combs' cell phone on January 8th of 2000. Myers had testified that she fell on top of Combs after the incident and that she did not feel a gun. The prosecution said that contradicted what she told police immediately following the incident. The prosecution's evidence also showed records of 5 calls last January to the hip-hop star from a cell phone owned by an auto technician, Christopher Chambers, who testified that he did not know Combs while his phone received 1 call from Combs, according to the news service. Chambers had testified with certainty that Combs did not have a weapon that night. During cross-examination, however, he was unable to recall other details from the club. The records also showed 22 December calls from witness Glenn Beck's home to one of Combs' bodyguards, Paul Alford, or Uncle Paulie. The evidence was introduced to support the prosecution's accusation that the defense has tampered with witnesses who gave the evidence throughout the 6-week trial. The crazy part is that wasn't all. The driver that drove J-Lo, Diddy, and Shine that night alleged that Diddy tried to bribe him with money and a diamond ring to take possession of the weapon that was found in the vehicle when Diddy and J-Lo were arrested with Shine.
The jury now appears to be focusing on the possession and bribery charges against Sean Puffy Combs. This afternoon, jurors sent the judge 2 notes, one of which asked for a transcript of a phone message Combs left Wardell Fenderson, once his driver, now the prosecution's star witness. During the trial, Fenderson testified that Combs was armed the night of the shooting at Club New York, and later pressured him to claim ownership of a pistol police found when they pulled over Combs' Lincoln Navigator as it fled the shooting.
And I just want to make you feel like comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Make your family feel comfortable.
What exactly Combs meant by that is in dispute, but the prosecution claims the rapper offered Fenderson $50,000 or a diamond ring to take the rap for the gun.
Y'all hear Diddy? They recorded him in real time. The crazy part is I've heard about this with the 1999 nightclub incident, but I didn't know that they were alleging that many witnesses were tampered with. And now I can't help but wonder what's really going on with victim number 3. I'm not saying this happened, but it is really questionable. After a week before she went missing and then said she didn't want to testify, she was saying that she wanted to testify with her real name being known to the public. I honestly hope that this is not the case, but either way, Diddy is being charged with this all over again in this current criminal case. I don't think it's a coincidence that we are seeing the same allegations happening that happened in 1999 that Diddy actually got to walk away from scot-free because of these witnesses that were on the stand that the prosecution was trying to say Diddy was allegedly bribing. I don't know, but y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Hey,
When?
Char. What's up, Charlotte? Girl. Oh,
Is she there?
yeah.
How are you, Charlotte?
Can you hear her, Charlotte? Oh, she'll be back. I don't know.
Okay.
Something going on with her phone. But yeah, you see that? Tamper with evidence. They always, that man.
Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely knew that. I remember that from the
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
best witness that there had was the woman that got shot that actually got on the stand and testified that it was Diddy that did it. I
It was
don't know how much of a more of a witness you need than the person that actually saw who shot him, right? But yeah,
exactly.
he definitely was tampering with evidence, paying people off and things of that nature, and that's how Shine ended up taking the fall for that. And that's why he was denied bail, is because when they saw the records of where he called that girl Kalina during the time when
Mhm.
I think he called her like 50 sometimes, like trying to talk to her to
Uh-huh.
get her, to say good things and sway to his side. That's influence, and that's possible bribery when you offering people money, when you offering people money, jewelry or whatever to take care of you and your family. That's exactly what it is, and they knew that Diddy had done that in the past, so they didn't want him to do that this time. So that's probably why he was denied bail. Yeah.
And the fact that they thought
Yeah,
that he was going to hurt people, you know what I mean? That he was going to be tampering with the witnesses and stuff like this.
yeah. Well,
Threats were made to people, he
Right.
definitely was threatening people.
arrogance. I mean, his ego. I mean, if we go back 30 years, it seemed like the man never really changed. He was terrible back then, and he just got worse over time. He was so egotistical and arrogant.
Yeah, well, most narcissistic psychopaths like him, they get worse as time go, and that's unfortunate because Diddy will not change, even if he beat this
Never,
case. Do you understand?
never.
Listen to what he is saying. Him, his whole psychology, his whole personality is who he is. He will not change. He will just try to be more careful if he get off and what he's doing, be
Mm-hmm.
more about what he's doing, but he will continue to be the narcissistic psychopath that he is. He'll move differently. He'll do some violent things. I mean, I believe he'll still continue to do some things low key, and try to, again, he's so arrogant. He is so
Yeah,
self-absorbed of a person. He can't
yeah.
help himself. He cannot help
He
himself.
had
He would,
well, he
if he
had
get off, he would just move differently. But you know what would happen? If he gets off, this is going to boost his ego beyond, because you know what that's going to say to him in his brain? I
yeah.
beat this federal case. I'm bigger than
Oh,
all
yeah,
y'all and what y'all accuse me of, and
yeah.
if I can get away with all that, guess what?
Y'all owe me an apology. Now apologize. Y'all owe me an apology.
Right.
Yeah,
Apologize, and then I'm gonna sue some of y'all. I'm gonna
then
sue
I'm gonna
some
sue
of
y'all.
y'all that was talking crazy about me and said I did
Mhm.
it. Me and bad mouth and defame me and my
Yeah,
family. I'm gonna sue
yeah,
y'all.
yeah. Because he has a reprobated mind. And what is a reprobated mind? A mind that refers to a corrupt, unprincipled mind that has rejected God, the creator, the higher power, whatever you want to call it, or her, or she, or he, or it's truth and more guidance, right? So a reprimand, what Diddy has is a reprobated mind. He can't hear God, he can't see God, he can't feel God. His mind is closed to change in his narcissistic sickness. It implies a state where a
Anything.
person no longer discerns right or wrong. His spirituality is hardened. He engages in sinful behaviors without remorse, and he has been given over to the desires due to consistent rejection of righteousness. And that's a reprobated mind. Okay?
Yeah, he think he's above the law. So if he wins this case, honey, you won't even be able to tell him nothing, because he will say it. He will say, I'm above the law. Nobody can touch me, not even the feds, not even the government. Like I'm bigger and above that's the mindset of a person like him. If he wins this case and walks away, because
It's
right
over.
now, in my opinion, it's 50-50. We still got some ways to go,
Y'all
but it's
better run.
it's actually 50-50 in my
They
humble
better run
opinion.
like hell. They better
They
run like
they
hell.
gotta they gotta come with more napalm bombs, baby. They gotta come with more receipts. They gotta come with more witnesses that's gonna actually give some evidence, some receipts, y'all, some real stuff. Diddy got a 50-50 right now. But like I said, we got a good little ways to go. I would like, because of the statute of limitations is up for the domestic violence, he could never get charged with that, right? But they still are painting the picture of his character, his personality, and things of that nature. And then they brought the psychologist in. I wish they would bring a criminal analyst or criminal profiler in so that they can talk about the type of criminal mindset of somebody that would do the things that Diddy is accused of. But see, they ain't gonna never do that. But they need to. They need to have a criminal analyst or criminal profiler in there to talk about his mindset. Now, they talked about it for the prosecution for Diddy. For Cassie, but they haven't for Diddy. And that's what I'm waiting to see if they're gonna do that, because all's fair in love and war. And this is a war that he's at. He's literally fighting for his life. Right. So they brought a psychologist in to talk about the psychology that goes behind being in an abusive relationship, which they trying to explain Cassie's side. They need to get somebody to get on that stand and talk about the criminal profiling of the behavior for the charges that Diddy is being charged for.
And what about the security guards that watched and didn't help and just sat there and allowed this man?
They helped. Let me tell you how they helped.
Some of them helped.
I'm gonna tell you how they helped. Yeah, they helped by putting ice packs on her.
Really?
Take her to the whole. This the help. Listen to the help I'm talking about. They was like, they didn't stop the fights, but they was like, let me help you get an ice pack on there. Let me help take you to the hotel, and you can lay up for about 3, 4, 5, 7 days. And I'm gonna bring your food because Diddy said so. See, that's how they help. That's their mindset. And these are men that probably had wives and daughters, and they damn sure got mothers because they came from a woman. But they could stand there and watch a woman get beat like that and do nothing.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
I think they're scared. And then that's their livelihood too. That's how they're taking care of their family. So they're in a position, to.
I said that, Shaw. You right. Fear, the bag, opportunity of being promised something else bigger. So those are the main three things. Fear, I believe the fear is first, because if he
fear.
And they've seen him beat other men and threaten other men, he can do it to me and mine. So fear stops him. The bag, I got to take care of my family. I got to, and then, of course, the other one is their own selfish, opportunist, obligations of saying, well, he promised me this or that if I just hang in there and stay a little bit longer and endure this.
Opportunist.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the witness today that spoke was
Dante,
Cassie's and Diddy's hairstylist. So let's see what was told today about the hairstylist.
Cassie Ventura's former stylist, Deonte Nash, is testifying against Diddy. The government calls Deonte Nash. Are you here under subpoena? Yes. Do you want to be here? Absolutely not. What's your work? A celebrity stylist. In 2008, for Puffy and Cassie. How did you get hired to work for them? Through a Craigslist ad for Bad Boy Entertainment. This photo, is it a fair and accurate portrayal of how you looked at that time? Not even close. It's a glamour photo. Yes, I look amazing. How often would you witness Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura interact? At least once a week. What did Mr. Combs call Miss Ventura? B-word, CC, baby girl, slut? How did she react? Sad. Would Mr. Combs make threats? Yes, that he would beat her and that he'd send her tapes out. How often would he say that he would beat her? quite a few times. It drove her crazy. She would be super emotional, and she might stay in the house for days. How often did Mr. Combs say that you could not go out without his permission? Twice. The first time we went to a gay club with Kyle and Adrian, and then we went to her LA apartment. Puff called and told her she better bring her ass to his house. She panicked. Did you understand what Mr. Combs was saying? Diddy's lawyer says objection, and the judge overruled. She packed her stuff and went to her house. Did you attend a Vanity Fair party? Yes, the Oscar after party in 2014 with Cassie. Puff was there. How did she look? She looked bomb. Her hair was, and Diddy's team objects, and the judge overrules. Her hair was long. Puff picked me up and threatened me. I pinned her hair up. Did she record music? Often. What was your role? I helped pick the songs. I probably should have been called an executive. And Diddy's team objects, and the judge sustained. Her mixtape, was it ever sold? No, it was put out for free, but it did well, a top download. How much of her music was released? I'm being generous to say 10%. The government asks, how many times in person have you witnessed Mr. Combs be violent? Quite a few. This is a sealed exhibit. Without saying her name, do you recognize this person that we call Mia? And Mia is the pseudonym for victim number 4, who we know is one of Diddy's personal assistants that will be testifying after he's done. Yes. What were you and Mia helping Cassie pack for? The OVO Fest in Canada. Who came to the door? Puff. He said, "Bitch, didn't I tell you to answer your phone?" Then he dragged her by her hair and hit her. How hard was he hitting her? Very hard. We ran to the bedroom, but Puff pushed it open. He continued to attack Cassie with his fist. What did you try to do to help Cassie? I jumped on Puff's back and he threw me off. Mia did too. Cassie's head hit the bed frame. She was bleeding, but Puff continued hitting her. Where was Mia? Getting towels. What did Mr. Combs say to you, Mia, and Cassie? He said, look at what y'all made me do. He said she'll have to go to a plastic surgeon. Who did she go with? D-Rock. He was Puffy's security. After that, when did you see her? The next day on FaceTime or something like that. She had a gash in her eyebrow. Were you once cooking with Cassie when Mr. Combs got violent? Yes, Puff came. What did Mr. Combs say? He said, y'all better get the F out of my house. He was grabbing her by her hair. He pushed her out the door and then began to do the same to me. But I don't have hair, so he popped me. He told me to go downstairs and wait. They came down and Puff was berating us. As we drove off, we got a phone call. A phone call from who? Puff. He told us to stop and he came to the window and he said that he'd put her tapes on the internet. Puff said he'd send her tapes to her parents' jobs, get them fired, and that her brother was a B-word and that only he protected her. What did you tell her? That Puff was in the tapes too. She said he's not. He was taping her with other men. What did Cassie say about wanting or not wanting to have physical relationships with other men? That she didn't want to. I drove her to Sunset Boulevard to get a taxi. Why? Uber wasn't really a thing yet. Puff came to my house looking for her. He looked in my oven. I'm not sure why. Puff took my phone and Cassie called from a hotel. Puff said, let's go there. The bad boy staff stayed there. What did Mr. Combs say? He said, go get her. I went to Cassie's hotel room with D-Rock and Tony, and she jumped up. She was frightened. She said that she would jump off the balcony. How high was it? It wasn't the first floor. Downstairs, I saw 4 or 5 of Puff's security waiting. Puff told me, you played me. I drove off, but Puff's security followed me. I turned off my lights and I drove really fast. I went to the Universal Sheraton. Did you go home the next day? Yes. I found out my backpack was stolen. It had $1,000 in it. Why did you keep $1,000 cash? So when Puff was mad at me, I could check into a hotel without giving my name. What happened in 2015? I saw Puff slap Cassie in the face. He said, get this bee out of here. What did you do? I got her out. At the Perfect Match premiere, what did you see? Cassie had a black eye. When was Mr. Combs violent with you at a music video? I was outside smoking a cigarette. Puff came and threw me on the car and started choking me out. Puff said, y'all keep going out. Did you report anything to the police? No, I was afraid of retaliation from Puff. Did you get a hold of anyone on the staff? Yes, Christina Korm or KK. What did she say? That she would talk to him. Did anything change? No. How often did you help Cassie hide? Often. What did Mr. Combs do? He would blow up our phones. KK would too. She would say Puff was calm and then Cassie would go back. Did Cassie tell you that she was going to a hotel with Mr. Combs? Yes, weekly. She would pack toys. Did she say she wanted to go? She said she didn't want to go. Her 29th birthday. Tell me about it. Puff asked me, should we surprise her on her birthday? And what did you say? Girl, I was not about to tell him not to surprise her. Did she use the word freak off with you? Not like freak off, more like freak off. Like a verb? Yes. Where did you go after the blind dragon? 875 Comstock, like 17A, Puff said. Y'all gonna get some D tonight. What did Miss Ventura say? That she didn't want to go, but he made her. They left the house. She was super out of it. New Year's Eve 2017, where were you? Vegas with Cassie and the staff. All on the same floor of the hotel. Puff's room was at the end of the hall. What did Mr. Combs tell you? That Cassie had been asleep for 24 hours. I had to wake her up. Did she wake up? She woke up for me. What did Mr. Combs say? That he had spent all of this money so she had to, and there was a low-budget producer. How many of your meetings with the prosecutors did you end early? Probably all of them. Did you stay in touch with Mr. Combs? Yes. What was your tone? Loving. Why? I don't hate him. It's not in me. No further questions. And this is the end of Deonte Nash, Cassie's former stylist, full direct testimony, and he's on cross right now. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Boy, what you think about that testimony today, OG?
I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and cook first. Y'all go ahead and cook.
What you think about that testimony, Charlotte?
It just sounds like a whole bunch of, the same thing that's been going on. Just, a bunch of abuse, every which way, all day long. It just seems like there's so, that's what he just did all day long, every day for, decades.
It just don't change every day.
You know what I think? What I think is most important is like, who are the people that he murdered? Though he's a murderer. Why aren't we talking about? People are afraid because he's murdered people, and he straight up said, "I unalive people." He said it from his own mouth. So why? I'm wondering why people aren't talking about this.
Yeah. Why he not being charged with the serious crime? Like murder and
This is some petty shit to me, is what I'm saying.
All those children that was at them parties that people talked about. Where are those little girls and those little boys, Diddy? Where are they? How many people did you murder, Diddy? Where are the tunnels, the underground tunnels, Diddy?
Right? He knows about all that stuff.
Let's talk about
he's
that.
in with Oprah and all them, and you know what I mean? So I think this is a whole big allegedly. Oh
Allegedly.
Oprah, no. Oprah was after my own very kids. That woman is a high priestess of she ordains people for the Church of Satan. No. This is allegedly. This is real. I found a tunnel under the where they're traffic people, under the golf course that I was living next to on Pebble Beach.
I don't want to discover no shit like that.
The bigger picture, I called the FBI. Guess what? They already know about it. Why? Because they're involved. They're involved. After that, I was on a hit list. This is what I'm saying. These people are murdering people. These people, this United States of America, and I'm not afraid. I'll say this because the United States of America government called my phone. Why? I don't live in Washington. I don't have nothing to do with that. They wanted me to be a House Speaker for the whole Monterey Bay area. Why? I had to figure this out.
Did they tell you to be quiet
every
just a minute
day?
ago?
You know what I mean?
Allegedly.
What about the serious stuff? Where's
Yeah.
where's the kids? That's what I want to know. Where's the kids? What about the people he unalived? Because he said that he does, and this is why people don't talk, because he has gotten rid of people. Where are these people?
And
Where
I
are
don't
the people? Where?
Yeah, I don't understand why people are so shocked, like they don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, she stayed for 10 years, or um why they can leave. I mean, I really get it. Like when I had said earlier about Capricorn leaving for that extensive a long time. I guess Cassie kept leaving and going back. She kept leaving and going back because of the cycle of domestic violence. And then I think Capricorn, that was her livelihood. That's all she do. I think that's where she worked the majority of her life for decades, from Cali to New York. So that was her livelihood, the entertainment industry. So I
She
guess
saw everything. She
Hmm?
saw everything. She saw everything, right? She saw so much that she, you know what I mean? It's too much.
Grateful
She
to
saw
be
it all.
alive, because when dude had her for 5, when they kidnapped her, not with the Kid Cudi situation, but when the jury came up missing, and dude had that woman for 5 days,
Right.
and they interrogated her, and they was gonna throw her in the river. So somebody was protecting Capricorn Clark. She should thank the Most High and the angels that protected her and her ancestors, whoever riding with her. Because how could you be around that type of darkness and demonic forces and wickedness for all those decades?
See, people, see, that's what I'm saying. People put themselves in that position. You know what I mean? They like some people, like Monique, she didn't sign those things at that part. The first time they want her to sign something at some freak off, she didn't sign it and walk the fuck away. You know, a lot of people could have done the same thing. That's what I'm saying. These are grown ass adults. What about the babies? That's all I'm saying.
The ones that can't protect themselves.
Exactly. See, year
Yeah.
after year after year, we've heard testimonies of people that he did stuff to, and now they're coming out and speaking out. These people walked away. They stopped going to those parties. They didn't stay in the mix. You know what I'm saying? All these other people could have done the damn same thing. They didn't have to keep getting butt raped.
Yeah. Yep. Well, enough for Diddy. And we'll be in tune with tomorrow's testimonies to see who's going to be talking tomorrow. But OG, once you give your opinion on his testimony, then we'll go into Brother Hoover that was released, pardoned by Trump. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I get what you ladies are saying, right? And I have my own thoughts, you know, and views on that as well. But unless somebody come forward, guys, and incriminate themselves with some proof and say I was there, or I was a part of it, or I done it, or I seen it, here's the proof. It's not what we believe, it's what we can prove in the court.
Exactly. Because he ain't charged with none of that stuff that we talking about.
That is so true, OG. You are so right.
He's not charged with none of the stuff that we know he seriously did.
And it doesn't matter that we believe that and we think that, right? I got my feelings about Kim Porter. I got my feelings about, you know, what
Cassie.
was the Stewart guy?
Christopher Lady.
No. The Stewart guy, Shakir Stewart, the one that years ago that was dating Kimberly, Kim Porter, that you know, was found allegedly self-unalive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have my suspicions, but it's just like even with the Molotov bombing of Kid Cudi's car, unless someone come forward and have immunity or sign a proffer to not, you know, to get off and say I was the one that threw that Molotov bottle in Kid Cudi's car and set it afire. And I was hired by Diddy to do it. He may get off from that, y'all. There has not been concrete proof and evidence. See, when they did the DNA testing on the bottle of females DNA was on there. They don't know whose it was. Who was at the scene? Capricorn. Capricorn could have been,
You know what I'm saying?
or it could have been a woman that was in the car earlier that left a bottle of drinking something. Who knows? Until someone comes, you guys, with the concrete receipts and proof, or say, I was there, I witnessed this, I saw this transaction, I partook in it, and will turn evidence over against Diddy, he will not be charged for those things. He will not be charged for the children. He will not be charged for the unaliveness of said people we were just talking about. And it's unfortunate unless
witnesses come forward. I'm interested to know what they're going to talk about for the next.
Somebody come forward, concrete evidence, you guys. In the next, I guess a few more weeks left to this trial. Yeah, he stands a good chance of never being charged for those things. Mm-hmm. It's not what we believe, it's what we can prove in a court of law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely correct.
I agree. All righty. So let's go into we want to talk about Larry Hoover being pardoned by President Trump today. For those that don't know who Larry Hoover is, his name echoes throughout the streets, the courts, and the prison reform movement. So for those who don't know, Larry Hoover was the founder of the Gangster Disciples, a powerful street organization that started in Chicago, OG's hometown. All right, OG. Originally, it was about survival, community control, and power, but it evolved into what law enforcement labeled it as a violent criminal enterprise. So in 1973, I was just 1 year old. Hoover was convicted for ordering the murder of a drug dealer, and he's been locked up ever since. Today, he's been released today. But here's where it gets deeper. He's not just was in prison. He was serving a 6-life sentence in a supermax facility under 23-hour lockdown. That means he probably only got 1 hour of sunlight. So, welcome home, brother. That's just not punishment. That's political isolation. But here's the flip side. Over the years, Larry Hoover has pushed for peace. He's spoken on community upliftment, prison reform, and ending gang violence. People close to him say he's evolved. He's no longer the man they convicted him in the 70s. He's a symbol of reform and redemption. So now the question is, now that he is released, what is he going to do now that he's released today? So me meeting his son, last year, I was fortunate to meet his son, Larry Hoover Jr., on a movie set here in Houston, Texas. I know he's happy that his dad is home. Boy, this is going to be an interesting summer, y'all. Now that his dad is released, let me see if I can find that picture of me and his son.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Let me see that picture.
I remember I was a little girl, but I remember when the Larry Hoover and the Gangster Disciples movement started in communities on the south side of Chicago. That's my hometown. That's where I was born and raised. I remember a certain movement with Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers as well, because I had two uncles that were Black Panthers.
Really?
So, yeah. So a lot of people don't know that start of the Black Disciple or the Gangster Disciples, because it actually did start out as a community organization that helped in the community. And and it got infiltrated, and then a lot of people started doing a lot of nefarious things, which is what happens with all of our movements, right?
Just like the Moors, infiltration.
Yep, infiltrate, and then with Larry Hoover taking that rap, getting that rap for the alleged unalivement of that big drug dealer in Chicago. I remember I was a little girl, but I remember because just like I was a part of the breakfast program that the Black Panthers had. I remember my uncles taking me when I was a little girl to those breakfast programs. All of our things like that in our movements in Chicago started out good, and it ended up being destroyed by our own people infiltrating within.
All people.
Right? And then the whole gang thing turned into colors, and you against me, and you can't come on this side of the tracks, and you got to live within a certain demographic, because in Chicago they had the gangster disciples, they had the black disciples, they had the Arrow Rukins, Vice Lloyd, all of that. I know people that were in all those gangs, back in the day and coming up. My brother went to school with Jeff Ford, who was the son, who was the leader. Jeff Ford was the leader of the Air Rookie.
Yeah, I talked to Jeff Ford on the phone. I met Jeff Ford from prison. I talked to him on the phone. Yeah,
my brother went to school with one of his sons named Wakita. I think that's his name. And so, and I grew up in the neighborhood of that, right? Which I started out in Inglewood and ended up in what is called Back of the Yards, which is where predominantly it was ran by El Rukins. In Chicago and Inglewood was ran by the gangster disciples and black disciples, right? I grew up with a lot of them. I know a lot of them from the hood. So I came up in that era. So to see, back then how they were giving, black men those, damn near those life sentences or death sentences back then. And Larry Hoover, he's an old man now, he's probably got a change of heart and mindset and what he's trying to do now with prison reform and, to get out and talk to these younger guys that's still in this gang culture. I know that his son and all of them have been fighting. And even for celebrities, one time Kanye was hanging with Hoover Jr. So trying to, get Hoover out. Hoover's health is bad now, of course. He's an elderly man. So for him to get pardoned, I guess is a part of this pardon spree that Trump is going on. I just heard he's pardoned NBA YoungBoy. He just pardoned the Chrisleys, which was that white family that had the reality TV show on TV. Activated. He's going on this pardon spree, just pardon a lot of people. So who am I to say that he shouldn't pardon that black man when I see him pardon, people that look like him? I'm not gonna never say that they shouldn't be pardoned or whatever. Because if they do what Kodak Black did, because when Trump pardoned Kodak Black, he went back out and got in more trouble and got himself back in prison. So and a lot of times that's what happened. But I don't think that that's going to be the case for Hoover because he's older, his health is bad. He has a different mindset now of what he wants to do when he gets out. However, he is still got state charges because Trump pardoned him on a federal level. So we got to see moving forward, how does that work with him trying to get off pardon for the state charges that Larry Hoover had.
Yeah, hopefully he'll do well. He'll do good. And
usually they do. They come and they get a part of something.
He should.
He'll go around Chicago doing speaking engagements, about gang culture and different things like that. Things are so much different now than when he first started out and when he, the gang culture back then and when he, got locked. It's different now. Back then, it was honor in the gang culture. I will say it was honor. Yeah. Women, children, elderlies, they were off limits. Now this gang culture, now they killing kids.
The grandmama, they shoot your grandmama.
There is no code of conduct. There is no honor amongst the thieves. There is no moral compass with it now. They do not carry that same code that they carried once upon a time when I came up in, and grew up, with the gang culture in Chicago.
No, it's you ain't never lost, sis.
So it's a lot of work that, is going to need to be done. And I don't know, if Larry Hoover will have the wherewithal, the backing, the funding, the power, the political power, economic power behind him to do that in a city like Chicago that is just infested with gang culture and violence.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna have to. I was trying to share my screen, but I mean, try to upload a picture, but I guess I have to share my screen. Let's see, so I can see. Okay, there it is. There you go. You see me?
Oh, yeah.
You can see the picture?
Yeah.
It's a little blurry, but I was at a movie premiere with Larry Hoover Jr., his son.
Okay. Yeah.
I was there. He let me lay on his shoulder. We was just talking, and I just laid on his shoulder. I said, "Just take a picture with me, Junior."
Yeah.
Him and Larry Hoover Jr. He be out here a lot. He does business with Jay Prince, the owner of Party Records. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got
too. You're so cute.
I know.
So chunky girl, but I was so
Stop.
big.
You take such good pictures.
I was chunky. Stop, Charlotte.
You're so beautiful.
Yeah,
Anyway you want to be, baby. You're beautiful.
And they're juniors, Larry Hoover Jr., Fred Hampton Jr., they are trying to change the culture and do good things, in the community based off of, trying to make a difference and a change in the life that their fathers had. So, yeah, shout out to them. I wish nothing but the best for Larry Hoover. I hope he can go out there and get with some of those leaders out there already in Chicago and, be a prime example and beacon light of change, because he's the one that started that pendulum, and he can hopefully make a difference and start that pendulum to change within the gang culture. I would love to.
Yes,
so
we want to see that.
Yes.
Kendrick. I would love to see Kendrick Lamar, all of them come together. Whoever are the ones that's out there bringing unity in the community. That's all we want to see is unity in the community.
Yes.
That's what we want.
Kanye had made a Instagram post thanking Drake for having something to do with Larry Hoover.
Yeah, Drake is involved because Drake live out here in Texas and he's a part of Jay Prince's family. So yep.
I know Ye was definitely rolling with Fred Hampton Jr. I know, but Hoover Jr. because I think he took him on Drink Champs. Was it Fred Hampton Jr. or Larry Hoover Jr.? I think it was Hoover's son.
I don't know. I used to date one of the leaders, and I asked him to come on the show because he was born in California into the gang life, and I learned so much from dating a couple of bloods in my life. I learned a lot about the culture. They taught me a lot, about the culture. And it's not what we think it is. You know what I'm saying?
But the culture is different. Sis, the culture is different from when the older ones, like I said, the Hoovers and the ones that was in the culture then, there were codes on the street. Because I remember in our community, in our neighborhood, which was Inglewood, where I grew up, it was definitely the gangster disciples, right? So I had next door neighbor, across the street, down the street, round the corner, up the block, guys that I knew that were gangster disciples. But there was a code. The women in our communities were safe.
Yeah.
The children were safe. And there was nothing against the LDs, none of that. They had a code. If they grew up with you and you knew them from the neighborhood, the same neighborhood that Juwan Howard came from. And I told this story on Kwame Brown's platform because I came up. It's those OGs in the hoods in Chicago that were a part of that culture that helped protect Juwan Howard. And when they saw good in the kid, they made sure that kid stayed in school. They would talk to that kid. You're gonna be out doing this or that, you don't get in no trouble, because you know why? They saw hope and faith that this is a kid that's going to get their family out the hood, that's going to get their family taken away and make a difference. And we going to keep them safe. We going to protect them. Ain't nobody going to F with them. That was the code that was had. I was coming up. They don't have that code now.
Not at all. Okay, so on that note, OG, we'll be right back and we're going to get into this video, okay?
The youth need to hear what you saying so they kids don't be in a situation like I've been in, talking about free my father, you know? Like, this the information, this is what they need to know, that we need to be together.
This is the eye of the trenches.
So right now, I'm in the back with the legendary, hard-working, boots on the ground, frontline soldier for our community and prison reform and, you know, everything around, you know, making our communities a safe and decent place to live. I'm with the one and only Larry Hoover Jr., brother. It's a pleasure.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure to be here with you, man.
I just got through playing the album for everybody that was in attendance for the War Cry album private release party. And I had my manager, I'm like, man, is there any way, do you have any type of connections or relationships with our brother Larry Hoover Jr.? And she said, I do, right? So I'm like, okay. She said, a lot of people have seen the email, but everybody isn't responding. I can't guarantee you that he will show up or that he'll be here. And I said, okay, as long as you can reach out to him for me or somebody connect with him. But when I saw this brother in the building, I'm not gonna lie, you know, like I wasn't, you know. Hey man, I was in my feelings just a little bit, bro. Just a little bit. And man, it's just an honor to be backstage with you, man. I'm excited to hear, you know what you thought about the project and just everything that we got going on with the Unity movement, big bro.
Oh man, for me it's a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? It's everything I've been looking for and what I've been talking about, you know. It's like I listened to Public Enemy and, you know, people that was fighting for us, you know, trying to, you know, put our mind in the right places. And you know, you're doing it in the current time and you're doing it with current music, current beats. You know, you sound just like, I mean, you the youth, you know what I mean? And you bringing positive energy, you know, bringing unity music, trying to bring us together. And that's what I'm trying to do. So,
come on.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. I like what you're doing. Keep doing it. And even before y'all reached out to me, you know, I bumped into you in the airport and I'm like, dang, that was okay, we gotta get up. But I had been seeing the snippets of what you was doing and I liked it the whole time, you know what I mean? I like how the brothers were standing there strong and, you know what I mean, showing the strength. And man, it's a good thing that you're doing, man. Keep doing it, and I'm happy to try to help you wherever you can. I'm quite sure we can do that with each other.
I saw you in the airport and I wanted to stop right there and talk to you, big bro, but I didn't know what you had going on. I know you got a lot of people that walk up to you, but I said after I shook your head and said, brother, man, it's a pleasure to meet you, I said, we're gonna connect, bro. We're gonna connect. And it's so beautiful that we not only connected, but brother was coming to my private release party to come and hear, you know, what it was that I represented and what I had coming out. And really just in response to everything that he was saying, like, it mean a lot coming from him, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It mean a lot coming from him because I know what he stands for. I know the battle he's been fighting with his father, and I know, you know, he's it's the uphill road, big bro. So to hear that, you know, my message by God's grace is in alignment with what it is that he stands for, and brother is willing to help me and aid me on this journey, it just goes to show the importance of unity and the power of unity. And when we align, you know, the young, you know, with the veterans, man.
The youth need to hear what you saying so they kids don't be in a situation like I've been in, talking about free my father, you know? Like, this the information, this is what they need to know, that we need to be together. All this battling with each other, and we got a bigger war to fight than with each other. We don't even really have a war with each other. We just need to get our mind right and understand what we're doing. So, yeah.
Hey, listen, let me say this, man, as I'm holding this brother's hand. We pushing peace, we pushing unity. We are going to make our communities a safe and a decent place to live. and we're going to make sure we put in the work to ensure that we eradicate and put an end to the culture, the death and the murder culture that has ensured that we have lost millions of young black men and women's lives. We're going to stand on it. We're going to put in this work, and this is the beginning of a new era. It's a pleasure, big brother, to be here with you.
Me too.
Love you, big bro. The time is now. Yes, sir. Dang, that was...
Look, this is the Eye of the Trenches.
Shout out to Eye of the Trenches and Khadijah. Anybody videos I'm using is all love. But shout out to you for the videos till I get there. Yeah, I just like that unity. I like to see the love and the unity amongst brothers, you know?
Yeah, I do too, and it's good to see it. And you know, with his dad getting out, I know he's been on the fight, you know, for a long time to free his father. So, you know, with his dad being pardoned now, you know, I definitely want to see, you know, what results, you know, that they can get out there in the streets and what they can resolve, and they're being now a part of the solution instead of a part of the problem. And I want to say, because I remember, what was it, 1994, 95. He looked just like his dad too. 1994, 95. I remember black men going to the Million Man March. And I remember an oath that those black men took. Mm-hmm. And where we are today, a lot of those black men didn't uphold that oath, and they didn't pass it along to their son. And that's the part that's sad. That's the part that's sad. And I definitely want us to do a segment on that one day where we talk about the Million Man March and the oath that was made. We can show that, you know, films from where Farrakhan is having those black men came from all over the world and made a contract promise to be better men, to be better fathers, to be better to their women, to be better to their children, to be better in their communities. And I see a lack of that. So that's good to happen, especially with the Hoovers of the world coming out. Brother Fred Hampton died for the cause, y'all. You know what I mean? And now his son is still out there fighting for the cause. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that our own people come in and infiltrate, turn things bad, and then the system behind them, you know, unalive our leaders. So now we have a lot of people that are afraid to be leaders because a lot of our leaders are no longer here. The Fred Hamptons, Malcolm X, the Martin Luther Kings, the Medgar Evers, and I can go on and on.
On and on. OG, you guys know that there was 5 prime ministers from Africa that they unalived during COVID? You know? That crazy. Yeah. Over and on and on. Wow. Yeah, they kind of stop.
Yeah, I remember in Africa when they unalived Patrice Lumumba, you know, my namesake, Patrice Lumumba, that was fighting, you know, all through the apartheid, and, you know, he wanted better for his people, and they betrayed, they come in and they unalive our leaders all over the world. They got skin that look like ours. Unfortunately, that's you know. So
they were standing strong. They were standing strong. They weren't giving them people those shots, and they weren't sick over there. You know, and they didn't want the world to see that. You know, and they forced people, anyways. You know, just took them out and made it happen, anyways.
You know, we'll see what brother Larry Hoover Sr., you know, what he can get out and what he can do and what he can help evolve and change the gang culture that's first in his own hometown of Chicago, and who knows if it can spread abroad. I remember when Nipsey Hussle got on the live, and then Farrakhan and them went to California, and you know, the gang members made a truce for a while, but then again, it doesn't last. So we need something that's solidified and that's lasting in our culture, where if they can get a mindset of it's not worth us unaliving each other. We need each other.
Yeah, we don't need to kill each other. We only make up 13% of the country. So why do we need to keep killing each other and aborting our babies.
What, 13,
They said those dangerous things.
population.
Well, it was a plan. It was a plan. There's reasons why those things happen, and it's a core. It's the root of it is programming, that people were programmed to behave this way, and it has a lot to do with the music and the frequencies. That's what I'm saying, with the mixture with the drugs and the off frequency. That's a big thing. It's a root of it. I really, really feel, and it's going unnoticed. It's the music. It gets them going, and they get high. The mixture, once the off frequency, and then they're drinking or doing whatever they're doing, that's when they start, getting crazy. They start taking people's lives. It's crazy.
People don't think that music, them very violent video games don't make a difference in changing the mindset of younger generations. This is why we see mass murders in school. This is why we see how bullying has overtaken in our communities, and especially in the schools, and these people are unaliving themselves because of bully culture. It's bad even on here with cyberbullying. Y'all see it every day on here, and then it's real in our communities, right?
You're so right, OG. Those video games, it's sigils, and you're right. It's a programming. Yep.
That's how we learn music. If we keep continuously listening to something over and over again, we getting programmed by that. That's how we learn the lyrics to music. That's how we learn how music affects our moods and everything. Why do you think when a lot of times we going through something hard or rough times, and we sad, a lot of times we play sad music so we can cry if our heart's been broken. If we angry, we'll play angry music. If we happy, we'll play happy.
I don't do that no more. But you know what? That's what everybody does. And we grew up doing that, OG. And you know what? And that's the whole thing. People got to put out like this man talking about unity. We need to put out new music on a right frequency with good vibes. We don't need to be playing that sad song shit no more. This is when the tears are supposed to be wiped away.
We definitely need to stop playing and listening to and buying the violent music that comes with the hip hop culture. We need to stop it. It hurt us, and I will never forget the words of C. Dolores Tucker, and Lord knows our culture owes her apology, because we all bought into that whole thing when gangster rap came out. It started disrespecting our women. Look what we have now.
That's exactly what it was meant to do, OG. I'm telling you, it was a plan.
Let me get it out. Then I'll let you cook. It has changed our culture in our community. The disrespect of women, the violence towards each other, the uprising and the talk of drugs and alcohol and gang culture. All of that comes from that gangster rap, and it has been embedded and indoctrinated in us. And this is why you see what you see now with so many rappers that are no longer here now. It's sad, because the main two men that it started with that lost their lives should still be here, and that's Big and Pop. Big and Pop should be here. You see what I'm saying? And now look behind them. The death rates of the rappers that has grown. It's over 200 and some rappers. I'm talking about from your neighborhood underground rappers all the way up to your big rappers like what's his name? Smoke. From Nipsey to the Smoke or Pop Smoke. From all of them that was on mainstream, they're even losing their lives. Nipsey had made mainstream, so it has destroyed that genre, and the labels that procured that, pushed it out, and we bought into, because it's our fault too. We bought into, we let our children listen to, we acquiesce to. It's all our fault. When C. Dolores Tucker went to Congress and said, this is what's going to happen if you keep allowing this music to be pushed to our culture, it's going to destroy our culture. and it has.
Yeah. Well, Crazy Bone, he exposed the private prisons that are linked to rap music. So it's all by design, like Charlotte said earlier. It's all by design.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was on
because it started
purpose.
from the executives at that meeting that was telling them, no, you don't need to, you don't need to play conscious rap anymore. You don't need to talk about uplifting your women and your children and your communities. You need to talk about gun violence. You need to talk about drugs and gang culture. You need to talk about disrespecting your women. And we bought into that crap because it had a nice beat behind it, but we bought into the lyrics of it. What was being don't play that nice song on the B side. Play this talking
Ladies
about
first. Queen
shooting up
Latifah bring us ladies first. Remember that?
yeah, what
Mm-hmm.
fight the power, self destruction. All remember all those songs?
Of course I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's what
how
it started with.
UNITY, ladies first. All
UNITY, yeah.
like we allowed it, y'all. So we do as a
Well, this is
culture.
the
it's a
thing.
whole
I don't even know any of
different
that music. I don't know most of that music, and I did not let my kids listen to
No,
that shit.
I'm
I
not
did
talking
not.
about you
No, I'm
individually.
just
I'm
saying, but
talking about
everybody,
you
no,
as a
it's the
whole.
majority as a
we
whole.
just speaking as a
Absolutely.
whole,
It's in the
as a
destruction.
community.
And that's why it is the way it is. And, it's,
And the
wow.
main three, like I said, the main three left record labels that pushed and procured that. Look where they are. They are no more.
Exactly.
They are no more. The
Just like
main
all
three.
this music, it's going to be done. It's going to be played out. We're going to create new music on the right vibe. This is my passion, to bring awareness about the frequencies. We need to be on the frequency that heals. That's it. Because that other stuff brings confusion. It disconnects within. It literally causes chaos from the inside out when you turn up on a off frequency that's unnatural, and people need to get that part. You can't turn it up. If we're going to listen to our old music, don't turn it up, because it's damaging you on the inside. It's just, and there's no studies that are proving this. They're saying, oh, it doesn't cause damage. Why? Because they're not turning it up when they're doing their experiments, because they know what'll happen if they turn it up. It will prove that fact. It causes chaos. It disconnects DNA. There's a up when the natural frequency, it starts off soft and it crescendos and it peaks, and then it comes back down. This other music, there's no come down. And when they're on their drugs and stuff, it's a mixture. It's a recipe for chaos, and it is by design. They did it on purpose, and that's exactly what happened. And I'm just gonna say it. That's what happened in Stone Paxton's house. Those people, we were gonna play. That woman wanted to record my bowls, and I was gonna use my bowl. The videotape. The tape was ruined because nobody could.
Oh no, we don't want to talk about them over here. So let that be off the air, sister. We don't want no problems. So let that be.
I didn't.
I'm sorry, OG, but let her get that off her chest. And
No, I'm talking about,
yeah.
what my experience, from being in the music industry. Even though I was in the blues sector, I saw what the gangster rap did to our community. The same way we allowed the higher ups to come in and infiltrate and cause us to be against each other. That's the same thing that happened to us when they brought the drugs into our neighborhoods, and then we got destroyed that way. We're talking about decades and decades of still trying to come out of that, right? Because we probably got aunts, uncles, parents, grandparents, or somebody that came out of that crack epidemic era and survived, but it's still taking 30 plus years to really come out of that and be able to say, now I got my own home, I got my job, but it's people that are like that, right? That are doing it. But then we watch how it destroyed and even unalive a lot of our relatives that are no
Mhm.
longer, because they came out of that crack era, that crack era situation. The ones
Right.
that survived are still climbing and still, making it and trying to survive. But literally, it has taken 30 plus years for them to do that. That's how much of an effect that crack epidemic affected our communities and our culture. It divided us, destroyed us. I watched families that had good jobs. They worked for they drove the bus and the L's in Chicago. They worked for CTA. They worked for the post office. They worked for UPS, FedEx. I watched them lose homes, cars, families got divided, children got taken away from them. All of that because of what happened when that poison.
When they put the cocaine, Jane, and the crack and all that in our community. And then Reagan, he gonna walk through the Bronx like he was so shocked, girl. Like he couldn't believe what he was seeing, how the drugs took over our communities.
The plan was to get rid of all of us. That's why they call us cockroaches. We don't die, we multiply. And we spread out all over the world. They came over, took over some land, throw us in the ocean, we grow tails. They can't get rid of us. That's why we're the demons, we're the aliens,
I refuse to be called racist or any type of racist remark that comes from the clear people. And we should not buy
That's what they call us, but it ain't true because we're the sovereign rulers of beyond this world.
People do it to each other, and that's where indoctrination comes from. When we sit and call each other cockroaches, when we sit and call each other monkeys.
I'm saying that. No, I'm not calling. No. Don't get no. That's what they call us. We're the aliens.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know,
but the whole thing of it is people don't.
I've seen and heard people do it on YouTube.
No, we're sovereign rulers beyond this world, baby. We're sovereign rulers beyond this world. We are eternals, and that's what they didn't want us to find out. That's the truth.
And they don't know how deeply rooted calling another black person that name is. They don't know how deeply rooted when they do that. When we call each other cockroaches, when we call each other monkeys, gorillas, and apes, they don't know how deeply, if they really knew how racist that was, how deeply hurt that hurt our ancestors and our generational curses that are upon us, then they wouldn't do it to each other, but they do it. I watched them do it on here. I watched them call each other that on. I watch them do it. I mean, they went in on Cardi B when she called us cockroaches.
Oh, she
The thing of it is that's what they wanted. It was genetic code deletion on the brown people. Okay, they thought they could do it, but we're of origin, and you know what? Whatever they are is what we are. So it's all the same here. They proved that in 2010. It's well documented. I don't know why people are still playing around, because they got the complete goddess code, not God code, but they still want to play and call it the God code. It's complete, it's documented, and it says that every man and woman with the soul came from a brown woman. Okay, and that's real, and that's not my words. That's documented. There was even announcements on the radio. I heard it on the radio while I was walking up the street. Okay, I was in San Diego, California, leaving a plasma donation bank. It's real.
See, what's up?
Woman didn't come from the rib of a man.
We have a guest, OG, and Charlotte. TC. Who is TC?
Hi, TC.
Hi, TC. Welcome.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
So what do you think about what we were discussing? I guess it was so juicy you had to come on in. How you doing?
Hey, girl. Yeah, I feel the support. I got your text, and I'm like, okay, let me go here. I put the kids to bed. I was like, well, the children, because I know you stay on me about that. The children to bed. But you guys are talking real stuff, and I'm enjoying it.
All right. So what you think about the Diddy case this week, the testimonies, and then Larry Hoover being pardoned today, along with a couple of other artists and people being released today?
As far as the Diddy stuff, I'm just saying back, I'm watching. I'm eating my popcorn, sipping my tea. I don't know what's going on. You know me. I'm really not. I don't be keeping up with it, but it's getting a little juicy. So I just been sitting back just watching. I just know he a freak.
You sound like me.
Yeah, I don't really get into it. Whatever. I'm just sitting back watching. Only thing I don't really see any crime just yet, other than him dragging Cassie. That's what that was the most violent thing. That was disgusting. However, I mean, the man's a freak from what I see. I haven't got into depth about it, but I'm like, okay, so he had these freak parties. Now I'm waiting for like any murders or any type of trafficking or anything like that, you know.
Prostitution across state lines, sex trafficking. We waiting on it. We hopefully they got 3. I mean, who they gonna put on the stand for the next 4 more weeks? I'm like, damn, what is it? We got 6 more weeks. How many more weeks we got to go? 3 more weeks? 4 more weeks?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It could go
like
longer?
I said, I'm just sipping my tea. I know Cassie had her baby today.
I know she was in labor. Did she have the baby?
Yeah, and then now she had the baby.
Is the baby premature? Because she was not 10 months.
They didn't say. Okay? They didn't say that she was. But
so do y'all think she's gonna go back on the stand now that she delivered the baby? Or are they gonna want her to be back on that stand so they could try to discredit her? Because all I have popping up in my news feed about Diddy is love. They got pictures, videos of Diddy dancing with his daughter, all these videos of good times that Diddy's having with Cassie that keep popping up in my timeline. So who's releasing all these beautiful videos to try to change the narrative of this man's horrible behavior?
Well, Diddy was always excellent at marketing, honey. From everything, from getting those people out there with those free Diddy T-shirts to saying, hey, y'all get on social media and y'all make sure y'all put in the algorithms all the good stuff showing me the loving, caring father that I am.
$7 million. Girl,
I would say my son said a couple of days ago, he was like, I never heard them play Diddy so much. I mean, they've been playing all his songs. I'm like, dang, you really never hear like that stuff like that. But they've been playing his stuff a lot lately.
Because they want us to think that they want to paint this picture of him as this good person, and he's not. He's horrible.
Of course. I mean, if you listen to some of his songs, you will hear his lyrics and whenever he do come on a song. Exactly. What was it? I was listening to, I have my Amazon music playing today, and the song he had with Biggie, that song he was like, tell your friends to get with my friends so we could be friends. We could do this I'm like, oh, that's when the free party started. Look, back in this.
No, that's definitely when he kept it that close circle of women that was all friends, because Lisa, Mary J. Blige, Sarah, all of them women that he went with was all friends. Lisa was the first when he went from Lisa
and he said the man Wee Wee is the size
Sarah was friends, that he went with Lisa, Sarah, and Kim and got
they said that the man
all women, okay?
They said the man.
Wow. So was Faith Evans inside of that circle too?
They said that man.
She was friends with him, but she was with, she was with Big. You know what I mean? And Mary at the time, I think she was with KC from Jodeci. So
okay. And Kim was
and Kimora, don't leave her out. They all were friends. They all hung out. They all were close.
In the book, it said that. I got the book. Don't make me get this book now. I got the book before they took it off of Amazon and read some of the stuff that they were saying about what was going on. So what y'all think about the book? Do y'all think the book, OG, do you think that book is real?
Which book? Which book?
Kim Porter book.
Well, no, that book is not real. No. That book is not from Kim Porter's words or from her pen and pad. No, that book is fake.
Okay. A lot of people say, well, why would they want to ban it if it's not real? Why do they want to take it down if it's not real? If it's real.
Didn't they take it down? Didn't they stop the sale of it? Because from what I heard, the family and Albie Sure and them picked it to have that taken down and stop the sale. Because that man wrote that book himself. He is not the author, nor was it ever proven that he even knew Kim Porter.
Courtney, right?
That book is not from a journal, a book, or nothing that belonged and out of the words of Kim Porter at all, y'all. That book is fake as fuck. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
But I sure enough got it. I should have released it like the lady did the audio, got about 1 million views.
Now the book Bling. There's a book called Bling.
Yeah, I have the sister here. The author. We could watch just a little bit of it and then go into the Gene Deal fight. Lord have mercy.
But let me just say this: the book Bling, the girl that wrote the book Bling was friends with all of them, specifically with Kimora, and she changed names and stuff like that. Her book was more talking about the Diddys and the Russell Simmons, and unfortunately, she was allegedly got sick and died, but she was unalive, in my humble opinion.
We ain't gonna stop.
You know what? In my humble opinion, too, OG.
Them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me.
He was a boss.
Whenever you bring up a different element into people's environment, people get intimidated. It's just like two from walks of life connecting and getting together.
30 years ago, he was one of the top names in the music industry. Now, Sean Combs' name is at the top of the court docket.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs.
Getting an invite to a Sean Combs party was like getting a Willy Wonka golden ticket. When you heard wild, crazy Diddy parties, the idea was fun wild, fun crazy.
That don't mean y'all should be extra tight. We fed y'all, we gave y'all some drinks, now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life. This is a legendary white party. It's the real white party. Make some noise if you've been here before. The kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to.
Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimora, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list.
A lot of gossip has gone around in the hip-hop scene about how authentic your characters are and whether they are based on real persons.
Because I think people are really fascinated by the hip-hop world. And this book really takes you behind the scenes and shows you like really what's going on in that VIP room at the P. Diddy party.
You walked in on record executives having gay. You don't mention that person's name. Can we talk about what record label? What letter does it start with?
Not even. That'll give it away.
A.
Don't start.
B,
That's going to give
D,
it away.
D.
The second book. I'll cover all that in the second book.
Oh, there will be a second
There is
book.
a second book.
If you live to tell, I understand you're getting death threats.
But now, in light of all of the new information that we have, everything has to be looked at under a magnifying glass.
Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent.
And just because Diddy's in jail doesn't mean that one of his associates isn't still making sure that the victim-making machine is quietly going along and making sure that people are quieted appropriately. Erica Kennedy found a brilliant way to take Jay-Z, Diddy, and Russell Simmons and make them all one person. It just wasn't enough.
Erica Kennedy was a remarkable talent whose life and career made a lasting impact on fashion, journalism, and literature. Born on March 24, 1970, in Queens, New York, she grew up in Bayside with her brother Kirk. Her aunt Sarah Robinson fondly remembered Erica as bright, funny, talented, thoughtful, and passionate. At the age of 17, Erica faced a profound loss when her father, a pharmaceutical company executive, passed away, leaving her mother, Mary Mobley Johnson, an interior designer, to raise the family. Although it was a sad time for the young teen's life, she still went on to school to pursue her dream for the arts. Erica attended Sarah Lawrence College, graduating with a bachelor's degree in liberal arts in 1992. During her time there, she was actively involved in the college's literary magazine and served as president of the student government. She furthered her education at Oxford University, participating in a prestigious writing program. After graduating, Erica embarked on a career in public relations, working with top fashion designers such as Tommy Hilfiger and Sean Combs. In the mid-1990s, Erica Kennedy began her career as a publicist, working with top fashion designer Tommy Hilfiger. During this period, she managed public relations and promotional activities for the brand, establishing herself in the fashion industry. While she was his PR, the designer frequently made public appearances to engage with his customers, hosting giveaways, making donations, and organizing spectacular fashion shows.
I travel around the country doing personal appearances in lots of stores. I'll be in Miami for a few days doing appearances in many of the stores that carry my merchandise.
Why do you do that?
I like to meet the customers. I think it's important to get to know them and have an understanding of what they like and what fits and doesn't fit. We're actually I'm doing a personal appearance and fashion show showing the new collection. We're also sponsoring a Duran Duran concert tomorrow night, giving away free tickets and CDs. At the same time, we're donating a certain amount of money to the zoo, and we think it's a very good cause.
By the late 1990s, Erica transitioned to working as a publicist for Sean Combs, P. Diddy. In this role, she was involved in shaping his public image and managing media relations, leveraging her connections in both the music and fashion industries. The brand experienced rapid growth, becoming a favorite among Hollywood celebrities who were all wearing Sean John.
Sean John. Sean John. Sean John. Sean John. Sean John.
Sean John TV. What?
I'm here holding down the Sean John section of the gifting suites. We're having a blast out here.
This is where actresses are supposed to be. I'm looking pretty wearing Diddy, Sean John. Love this coat.
That's good. Here enjoying myself.
Diddy, where you at? I just saw you at the Golden Globes, man. I thought you'd be here.
I just picked up the vest. It's off the hook. I'm feeling real jazzy right now. And I'm going to party tomorrow and tonight with the vest on just because it's your joint.
I think this might be one of my favorite stops.
Sean John always keeping up in the latest trends and fashions, and I'm just happy to be here getting fly with it.
Just got off the slopes, buddy. Get some gear.
I got hooked up with a nice little cute bomber jacket. This is Jennifer Coolidge. It's freezing. Ooh. Hi, I'm Arta Marine. I'm here at Sundance. I love my jacket, Diddy. Thank you.
This is by far the best stop that I've made in all the gifting suites that I've been to because this is so my style. I love this stuff.
Hi, I'm Annalyn McCord, and you're watching Sean John.
Sean John. Sean John. Sean John.
Sean John TV.
In the early 2000s, Erica shifted her focus to journalism and writing. Her first freelance piece was a humorous account of her dislike for Gwyneth Paltrow, published in the Daily News. Erica then worked as a special news correspondent for the New York Daily News before collaborating on fashion and entertainment stories. As a Black woman, gaining recognition from prestigious outlets was initially challenging. However, she landed a job at InStyle after Prince specifically requested to be interviewed by an African-American woman. Although she had previously submitted clips to the magazine, they only contacted her at Prince's request. Erica continued to work hard to build her brand, soon contributing to other prestigious publications. Despite her success in journalism, Erica had a deep passion for storytelling and capturing the essence of the hip-hop industry, a world she knew intimately. Erica Kennedy was truly rooted in the entertainment industry, forming deep and lasting friendships with some of its most influential figures. By the age of 23, she had already experienced the highs and lows of the fast-paced lifestyle. Reflecting on this period, she once said, "I was young and hanging out late. By the time I was 23, I was jaded like, I don't want to go to Puffy's party. I want to stay home and watch Sex in the City." One of Erica's closest friends was model and television personality Kimora Lee Simmons.
I was always a lot taller than most people. I was rather clumsy because you are when you grow so many inches so quickly. And I was always different than a lot of people. Most people thought, "What are you? You look so funny," you know? And I always went home, I look so funny. And eventually people, "No, you don't look funny. This works for you." The first people I ever saw was Chanel. I started when I was 14, and I was the youngest bride to ever be with Chanel. And I was the youngest couture model ever in Paris, in Europe, really. So it's exciting.
Their bond was unbreakable, with Erica serving as the maid of honor at Kimora's wedding to Russell Simmons in 1998. This wedding was a significant event, as Russell was the co-founder of the iconic music label Def Jam. Erica's role in the wedding and her position as the godmother to their daughters, Ming and Aoki, underscored the depth of their friendship. Erica's connections extended beyond Kimora and Russell. Her work as a publicist for Sean Combs' P. Diddy brought her into close contact with the hip-hop mogul, and their professional relationship blossomed into a genuine friendship, as well as Harvey Weinstein, who praised her writing.
Will you be working on any future projects soon?
Yeah, we've got 2 projects in development, and I hope to announce something very, very soon.
Can you give us any more
If
insight?
I knew, I would just tell you the whole plot, who's in it, what's going on, and where. But we're just a couple of weeks away, so I'll have to come back.
Reading a script, how long before you know it's going to be a hit?
When I read a script, I want it to be a good movie. That's first and foremost. So like Silver Linings, when I read that book, and then I knew that this would be a great film.
Her friendships with industry moguls, their wives, investors, and friends were not just social connections, but also sources of inspiration for her writing. Erica's intimate knowledge of the industry's secrets and dynamics allowed her to craft novels that satirically exposed the realities of the hip-hop world. Erica Kennedy's passion for writing was fueled by her deep immersion in the worlds of fashion, music, and entertainment. Her debut novel, Bling, published in 2004, was a satirical take on the hip-hop world, and it quickly became a sensation. To celebrate its release, her longtime friend, Kimora Lee Simmons, threw Erica a lavish book party at the trendy nightclub Lotus in New York City. The June 2004 event was a star-studded affair attended by numerous celebrities from the fashion, music, and entertainment industries, highlighting Erica's connections and influence within these circles. Bling tells the story of a young, innocent, mixed-race woman trying to break into the music business. A gifted singer, she is remade in flashy style by Lamont Jackson, a greedy record mogul. By the end of Bling, Mimi has achieved the stardom she once dreamed of, but at a significant cost. The glitz and glamour of the industry had taken their toll, and Mimi found herself questioning the authenticity of her success and the true value of her transformation.
Miss Kennedy, how you doing? Actually, as I understand, this is your first book. You did some writing before.
In Style, I was an entertainment reporter. I did a lot of celebrity interviews with a lot of hip hop artists that helped me give me material for the book.
The major talking point was the depiction of lavish events, sexual exploitation, financial control, and pressure to conform. In Chapter 5, Mimi attends a lavish event hosted by Lamont Jackson. The chapter describes the over-the-top extravagance, the high-profile guests, and the underlying tensions that come with such gatherings. These scenes included VIP lounges, fashion shows, and penthouse gatherings where deals were made, relationships were forged, and the industry's power dynamics played out. Mimi is both awed and overwhelmed by the spectacle, feeling out of place amidst the superficiality and excess. Chapter 15 takes Mimi to an industry gala where she is exposed to the darker side of the music business. She witnesses the exploitation of young artists, and the manipulative tactics used by industry moguls to maintain control. The event is filled with opulence, but Mimi feels a growing sense of disillusionment as she realizes the true cost of her success. In Chapter 18, Mimi attends a private mansion party hosted by Lamont Jackson. The event is marked by excessive indulgence, with guests engaging in reckless behavior and substance abuse. Mimi feels increasingly uncomfortable as she sees the destructive impact of the industry's lifestyle on those around her. The wild nature of these parties, with rumors of sex rooms, rampant drug use, and all-night leaves her questioning her place in this world. These parties mirrored events through by Erica's former boss, Diddy. According to Erica, she didn't see what the big deal was mentioning the parties.
How does it feel to have a first book out, a debut, and then people be so lyrical about it?
It's exciting, but I think people like the book because it's a good book and it's funny and it's an entertaining read, but also because I think people are really fascinated by the hip hop world.
Diddy had hosted many events over the years, but his infamous gatherings had recently come under scrutiny due to various allegations. The white parties were hosted from 1998 to 2009, held at various locations, including Combs' home in East Hampton and in Saint-Tropez.
And this book really takes you behind the scenes and shows you like really what's going on in that VIP room at the P. Diddy party and what's going on in the Hamptons and at the record label, like what really happens. And I think that's part of the fascination people have with the book.
In Bling, Erica also highlighted other forms of exploitation. Lamont Jackson takes control of Mimi's image, dictating her appearance and public persona. He insists on drastic changes, including cosmetic surgery and a provocative wardrobe to fit the industry's standards. He also exerts financial control over Mimi, managing her earnings and expenses, which limits her autonomy and reinforces her dependence on him for success. Throughout the novel, Mimi faces constant pressure to conform to the industry's expectations, sacrificing her personal values and identity. The novel stirred controversy and speculation about its characters being based on real-life celebrities. Many readers and industry insiders believe that Lamont Jackson, a powerful and influential hip-hop mogul, was a composite of several industry figures, including Tommy Mottola, L.A. Reid, and Sean Diddy Combs. The protagonist Mimi's story was seen as a reverse makeover of Mariah Carey's life. Mimi's transformation from an unknown singer to a hip-hop megastar drew parallels to Mariah's rise to fame.
The feeling is that he made you, his guidance, his helping you choose the songs, his publicity machine, his this, his that it wouldn't have happened without him.
Well, I don't believe that because I know that I wouldn't have given up. And I do know that I was very close to having a deal prior to meeting him.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that he was very instrumental because he did see the potential.
So here you were, 19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he was 20 years older. And he's interested in you romantically. What did you think? And he was married, by the way.
Well, he said he was separated, whatever. But
I don't want to play psychologist, but 20 years older than you, Tommy Mottola. Was he a father figure?
Probably, yeah.
Is it true that Tommy Mottola was the first man that you went to bed with? You have said this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vanessa de la Cruz, a fading supermodel who helps transform Mimi, was speculated to be based on Naomi Campbell. In the book, the supermodel was struggling with cocaine addiction. Naomi spoke about it on the Oprah show in 2010, 6 years after the book was published.
First started picked up cocaine at 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been modeling a while, and I'd always been against it. And I found myself like doing 3 jobs a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I never, ever had to have a dealer,
Mm-hmm.
as you call them. It was always very easy to get handed to you whenever you wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, it was a destroyer. I mean, it's really a devil's drug.
When did you realize you had a problem?
After Johnny died, because he died after Johnny Versace died, because in 1997, I was like, okay, I'm not going to touch this because, I've lost Johnny and now I'm not going to do it anymore. And then that year, so many other friends passed away. And I felt like I couldn't keep up with the grief. So I just started replacing it with drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And awful.
Vanessa's glamorous yet tumultuous life mirrored aspects of Naomi's own experiences in the public eye. Bling was adored by readers for its sharp wit and insider perspective, but it allegedly ruffled feathers among industry insiders who saw themselves in its characters. Some even consider suing after the novel exposed intimate details and industry secrets. The book, which became a New York Times bestseller, was also optioned for an alleged $500,000 film adaptation by the Weinstein Company, which allegedly made some people furious. Rumors swirled that Campbell was considering legal action against Kennedy, alleging that the portrayal of Vanessa de la Cruz was a thinly veiled caricature of herself. However, Kennedy stated that she had never been contacted by Campbell's lawyers and didn't even know who Campbell was.
A lot of gossip has gone around in the hip-hop scene about how authentic your characters are and whether they are based on real persons. Has that led to, let's say, serious discussions and names being thrown around as the persons you might have had as an example for your character?
Well, there's a bitchy supermodel in the book, and everybody thinks it's based on Naomi Campbell, but I don't know her, so it wasn't based on her.
During that time, Naomi's London representative, Alan Edwards, dismissed the rumors in an interview as well. He stated that Naomi wanted nothing to do with the book. She feels she's being exploited by these people for publicity. She hasn't read the book and has no intention of doing so. The notion that she might take legal action was equally absurd. That's completely false, the rep continued. Naomi has endured enough legal battles to last a lifetime. The speculation didn't end with Campbell. Sean Diddy Combs, another prominent figure in the entertainment industry, was also rumored to be considering legal action. The character's interactions and the depiction of the music industry in Bling led to whispers that Combs might feel targeted. In an interview with Women's Wear Daily, the writer was asked how she thought Diddy would react to the book. She emphasized the importance of sharing her story. "This is my book. I don't care what P. Diddy thinks," she stated firmly. "It's a male-dominated industry where women often lack a voice, but I want the girls to come out on top." Despite these rumors, no legal action was taken by Combs either. A year after Erica's book, Corinne Steffens released Confessions of a Video Vixen. In her memoir, Steffens shares her personal experiences in the hip-hop industry, detailing encounters with various celebrities.
I just wrote the book, and my publisher made that decision. Initially, the book had no names in it, and there were a lot of things that have been taken out.
But the publisher can only make the decision.
The publisher
of what
made
you
the
agree
decision, and I agreed with it because I felt that it was the truth and it was actual. I didn't hide anything in that book.
You hid a lot.
Well, I mean, of all the things that were written, I didn't hide names and places and dates to protect people. This isn't a book about protection. It's a book about honesty and confessions, both on my side and hopefully on theirs.
Corinne revealed names and reiterated certain points from Erica's satirical book. In her memoirs, she recounts her first meeting with Diddy in 2001, describing how allegedly Irv, another music executive, gifted her to him. Steffens also recalls attending one of Diddy's extravagant parties, which she likened to scenes from The Great Gatsby, featuring men in tuxedos, topless women, champagne, and trays of pills. During her 2005 appearance on The Wendy Williams Show, she elaborated further, revealing that she had witnessed music executives indulging in wild activities to fulfill their desires.
So let's continue with the problems. There was a party in Miami, and you showed up with Exhibit, and it was Puffy was at the party, or it was his party.
His party.
And when he saw you come in, it was like he saw a ghost, and he immediately asked you why you were there. He thought that you were there to blow up his spot. He then pulled Exhibit aside and asked Exhibit to get you out of the party, that you supposedly had pictures with your fingers up his butt.
Well, that's not what he said. I think the quote was that Exhibit relayed to me was, she'll have you on camera with fingers in your booty. And
Well, that could not, might not be Exhibit. Maybe that's you, Puffy. How you doing?
It's not Exhibit. I'll say that.
Okay. You walked in on record executives having, you don't mention that person's name. Can we talk about what record label?
No, that'll give it away. That'll give it away. But
what letter does it start with?
Not even, that'll give it away. A. Don't start. Don't start. That's going to give it away.
D.
The second book. I'll cover all that in the second book.
Oh, there will be a second book. If you live to tell, I understand you're getting death threats.
No, I'm not.
Everyone is really excited and really happy for me because I didn't say the things that I could have said.
Both Bling and Confessions of a Video Vixen expose the dark, glamorous, and often exploitative side of the hip-hop industry. Kennedy remained confident in her work, showing unwavering determination. Her second novel, Feminista, published in 2009, further solidified her reputation as a significant literary voice. Feminista also received positive reviews by readers.
And this is the second chapter where she's storming out of a restaurant after her boy toy, Kyle, tries to stick her with a check and it's her birthday. If Sydney hadn't been so pissed, she might have become aroused when Kyle grabbed her arm and pinched her against the wall at the top of the staircase. Sydney, what's wrong with you? He said, as if he was in any position to question anything. You can't just leave. Oh yeah? Watch me. We haven't paid the bill, he said, trying to keep her from squirming away. She looked up at him angrily but tried to avoid direct eye contact. Those misty green eyes could be her undoing. You hadn't paid the bill. Kyle released her arm and rested his hand against the wall. Look. Hearing that one word come out of his disturbingly sexy mouth and that humoring tone made her that much angrier. She hated when men who were clearly in the wrong tried to turn things around and make it seem like it was the woman's fault. She knew what he was going to say. She was overreacting, being too emotional. She should calm down. Well, maybe she didn't want to fucking calm down. She was mad as hell and she had every right to be. Since she landed the job at Cachet, every guy she dated made less money than she did. And for some reason, for the same reason she always had $1 and a kind word for a homeless woman, she thought drunk, druggy, loser, when she passed a homeless man, she hadn't respected one of them. Women had to work harder for less money, all while trudging around like Sherpas loaded down with guilt and self-loathing. Every time a guy pretended not to see the check a waiter had presumptuously set before him, she'd think, if I can make it, why the f can't you?
Erica's work truly left a mark on both the literary and fashion worlds. In 2010, she was named one of the 100 most influential African Americans by Ebony magazine. Kennedy's novels continue to be celebrated for their engaging narratives and the powerful messages they convey about women's roles in society. On June 11, 2012, shortly after 12 p.m., maintenance workers at Erica Kennedy's Miami Beach apartment building reported a foul odor emanating from her unit. Upon entering, they discovered her lifeless body and immediately contacted the Miami Beach police. Authorities arrived promptly and found no signs of foul play or forced entry. By June 13, 2012, it was officially confirmed that Erica Kennedy had passed away at the age of 42. The Miami Beach Police Department classified her death as a death investigation pending toxicology results and reiterated that there were no signs of foul play. Articles from Essence suggest that she may have been battling depression, but no official cause of death has ever been publicly disclosed. This lack of information led to various speculations and conspiracy theories. Jaguar Wright, known for her bold and unapologetic views, has commented on Erica Kennedy's death, adding to the intrigue. Wright has been vocal about the mysterious nature of Kennedy's passing, suggesting that there might be more to the story than what has been officially reported.
And just because Diddy's in jail doesn't mean that one of his associates isn't still making sure that the victim-making machine is quietly going along and making sure that people are quieted appropriately. Erica Kennedy found a brilliant way to take Jay-Z, Diddy, and Russell Simmons and make them all one person. It just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough satire and covering for them to not notice that she was talking about them in that book that became a bestseller, and then she unalived herself because she was bipolar. They do this all the time. We got to get the victims in a safe place, and the victims are not safe until we snatch up all the weirdos.
She has drawn parallels between Kennedy's death and other high-profile cases in the entertainment industry, emphasizing the need for transparency and justice. Although there is no concrete evidence to support her claims, the internet strongly suggests that this case be reopened. During the time of Erica Kennedy's passing, her family released a heartfelt statement. Her aunt, Sarah Sarah Robinson expressed their immense grief while celebrating Kennedy's vibrant, humorous, talented, thoughtful, and passionate spirit. Although the family refrained from providing further details about the circumstances surrounding her death, they highlighted the indelible impact she had on the world. This is absolutely devastating. I will continue to keep my thoughts and prayers with her family and friends. I do apologize for being late on.
If you speaking, I can't hear you. Sharon, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear nothing.
Yeah, you're on mute, or you need to go out and go back in. Something may be wrong with your sound. Yeah, that and shout out to Leah Gordon. I love her channel. She talks a lot about how, Black women and girls and young ladies are being unalived.
Yeah. Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you. So yeah, shout out.
Gotta love. Yeah, Leah. Shout out to Leah. Love
Her
her.
channel. Love her channel. Shout out to her. Yeah, that's that book. I mean, at the time it was that book. She was heavy in the industry, working around said people, and that book is in the lives of so many, that she was around. I absolutely believe that it reminds me of the movie The Best Man, when old boy wrote the book about his friends. He just changed the names and changed some things that they did, but it was absolutely about his friends. And what did it do? It caused a friction, in the friendships. I definitely believe that with her. I believe that that book was taken and to the people that she was exposed around in the industry, and she just changed names and dates and times and certain things. But and it's funny how they're saying she mysteriously was found unalived in her Miami, who stayed in Miami a lot, who had house in Miami, found unalived in Miami. And there's another book out, you guys, called Hiding Hiding in Hip Hop. It's by a guy named Terrence Dean, who talked about his experience in the entertainment industry. And guess what? He was found suspiciously unalived in his apartment.
Wow.
He talked about the down low men and women in the industry, you guys, because he was a down low man. I actually got his book. I'm reading. I don't have Bling. When I went to order Bling, it was sold out.
Bling is $140.
Yeah, the price went up when this whole Diddy thing came out, and it just is hard to find. But I do want to get that book. But Hiding in Hip Hop is interesting because he did the same thing. He changed the names and dates and stuff for people. But if you smart and grew up in that era, you can
know exactly who they're talking about.
Just about guess who he's talking about, guys. And his name is Terrence Dean. The name of the book is Hiding in Hip Hop. And it talks about the down low men, particularly men, but it was some women that were, he talks about too. And just from that coming up in that era, I can just about know exactly who he's talking about. He was found mysteriously unalived in his apartment, guys.
The Essence bestseller, Hiding in Hip Hop, on the down low in the entertainment industry from music to Hollywood. Terrence Dean. There you go. Get that book. Get it. This is crazy, but it's like shit. When you in the industry, you don't need the book. And when you know everything going on, OG, you don't even need the damn book. You the book.
Right.
Yeah.
Figure out everything going on. That's why I really don't go to the movies no more, because I can't figure out the movie. What's going to happen in the movie? How the movie going to end? You watch enough of it, you'll know. You can write your own movie. Yeah, but that was deep though, because they had Naomi spilling the beans, and then our girl Willie Williams. Remember all this stuff, yo. I love how Leah just put it all together in one little 30-minute short little film about this sister that nobody really know about, the Bling Book.
Yeah, and the guy that was dating Kim Porter, Shakir Stewart, that mysteriously, allegedly unalived himself. Yeah, from being because he was dating Kim Porter. I do believe, again, but it's not what we believe; it's what we can prove. If anybody ever came forward that had receipts on any of that, woo.
I mean, Cassie said that he said. Cassie told her mom that he said he was gonna take her and Kid Cudi out, and that he was gonna leave the country, and that
that might have been what he was trying to do when he was caught at the airport trying to get on his private plane. Right? He might have been trying to go over there in Bali with Russell Simmons. There's no extradition over there, so that's why Russell Simmons ran and hide over there from all of those great charges he has against him.
Yeah, that's why Steve Harvey took off, and you know what I mean? As soon as people start talking, the smart ones, they go. They know what time that was.
I mean, I understand the fear. You know what I mean? I definitely understand that. That was the number one reason why people didn't say anything. I do get it because some of them know
Hollywood
that.
is quiet. Hollywood is quiet as a mouse right now. Nobody's talking. Nobody's there for Diddy. Where's Diddy's witnesses? Who's going to stand for Diddy? Who's going to testify for Diddy? Who?
They know that people have been unalived. That's why I believe fear is the biggest factor. And then the second one would be, they'll stand for their own opportunist reasons, and, the bag, to keep their family, with a roof over their head, food in their mouth, and then being promised something, being promised to keep their careers if they keep their mouth shut. But fear is definitely number one factor.
Even Jamie Foxx recanted his story. Jamie Foxx did a whole comedy in Atlanta talking all that smack on Diddy, and now he talking about he never said Diddy tried to unalive him. So who really behind Diddy? Who is behind Diddy? Who let Diddy get away with this for 30 years? Who is the real ones in the shadows pulling the string and allowed this man to feel that he is so against the law?
To get to his
Elon Musk in there,
he had to have a lot of focus.
It's the government.
Suge Knight even said that Trump gonna pardon Diddy. What's going on?
It's a government. All them politicians were involved in that too.
They say he's the FBI informant. So Diddy
got videos on them. Like
He was once upon a time from what Gene Deal said. Right, he was talking to the feds, but then at some point in time, he became the target of the feds, right? Because it was people in his camp that was being told that they were going to give a deal if they would turn Diddy over, if they had to get them any proof of Diddy being involved with underage boys. That was way back. From what Gene's saying, that was way back, I believe, in the 90s or early 2090s. I want to say he said 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in there. That certain people that was in the circle was being
the world know that Diddy was involved,
and it didn't happen then. So you got a lot of co-conspirators, right, that was around him that absolutely helped him cover this up, and then and the people, the handlers, enablers that was around him, that like the ones that some of them are getting on the stand, unfortunately. And then you got the even higher up ones that don't look like us, that knew that this was going on, from the Jimmy Iovine's to the Clive Davises to the Lucian Grains to all these men that knew. Listen, they know, it said that Jimmy Iovine was at one and he witnessed this. But then again, Jimmy Iovine has his own great charges from a woman. it was just a part of the culture.
Yeah,
That's what they
and they said that's normal because they had a law that they wanted to pass about it's legal. See, to them, that's normal to harm children and to do what they do to children. That's normal to them. But we don't. It ain't normal to us, but to them and their community of wealthy people, that is normal for them to sleep with little girls and sleep with little boys.
Yeah. That's
and
what
it's
the
just
problem is.
It's just been unfortunate that we have been indoctrinated into that was indoctrinated into us and our culture all the way back from the butt breaking days. The thing that goes back to that was break the black man down in front of his family and make them the weakest link, so everybody else around would be scared. And the women were the most unsafe people in the industry, unfortunately, just like they were unsafe on the plantation when they broke the black men down. When those clear slave masters great the husbands and the wives of those men in front of everybody to emasculate
farms. Imagine the breeding. What about the breeding farms in Virginia?
Yeah, the breeding farms is the same mentality. Then we were indoctrinated with it, and then what was done to us, we start doing to each other. And this is what Puffy did, because Puffy was exploited. He was exploited from the beginning in the industry. When you talk about the Andre Harrells, when you talk about the Clive Davis, he was exploited. And then he got that mentality, what was done to him, he started doing to people that look like him. So when people say, oh, they just trying to take a black man down, I'm sorry, but that black man was doing a lot of nefarious things to people that look like him. So I'm gonna need y'all to shut the fuck up talking to me about the take a black man down crap. Miss me with it. He did more harm to his own people than the Clip people did. And they used him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that's on point, OG.
Yeah, you can't come to me with that trying to take a black man. He was the what do they call the person the overseer? They made him the overseer. So definitely there are strings above him. The real puppet masters. Diddy was just the overseers that kept the other black slaves in check. That's why
they're gonna let him off. They're gonna let him off. This is the thing. It's just a act, just like everything else, just like the left wing and the right wing. They on the same team. It's an act, and they use puppets. They do these. They put people out there, and it's all an agreement. He knew he was gonna get put out there before it even happened. That's what they do.
Well, what happened when he went against Diageo and sued Diageo, right? Which is a very multi-billion-dollar. I think Diageo's. I think they Italian, but they white Italians, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go against the people that help you gain the success that you got, and people don't remember that lawsuit got settled out because actually Diddy was winning that lawsuit. He accused them of racism. He was winning, and they settled out.
Yeah.
They did that. It was like, okay, we gonna show you, ninja. No matter how much money you got, you still a ninja. That's what I believe is happening to him on the upper echelon level.
That's exactly what happened to him. That's exactly what happened to him. He was fine until he started speaking out against the liquor company. He was getting away with it. But we gotta years.
all the tape, all the things that Cassie knew. She had a plan to always be a part of that, to file this lawsuit against him, as she did too. And I believe her husband was some influence behind it, because I believe when you are laying in the bed with your spouse and you having pillow talk conversations, and she's telling the story of everything that was done to her, everything that she co-conspired and did as well. He told her, we need to sue him. You know a lot on him. You need to get this bag for everything he did. You can't get him criminally, but get him civil, because he owes you for everything, all the mental anguish, emotional anguish, the physical anguish that he took you through.
Yeah.
Get that
And he
bag.
settled in 24 hours. Oh Lord, I wouldn't trade Chastity for $100 million or $1 billion. I wouldn't trade that shit. What she put up with, she could have died. She could have passed away with all the drugs that man was shoving down her throat. And as many times he kicked her, he could have killed her. He could have kicked her
Every attorney said when we settle fast, that is some form of guilt. Because anybody that know they innocent will fight to the hilt to prove they innocence. So why did he tell her? Why did he tell her, well, go ahead and sue me? He paid her because he knew he was guilty for all of that physical abuse.
Why do you think he's on that? Why do you think he didn't take the plea? Why do you think Diddy is on trial right now versus him settling with Cassie and just paying her off within 24 hours? Why you think he didn't?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why he didn't take the plea. Because I heard that the plea deal was 10 years plus he had to admit guilt. And if he took that plea for 10 years and admit guilt, that means anybody that was suing him
would have to
he would risk losing and had to pay out a bunch of money to all these people that's suing him. That's why he didn't take the plea.
He didn't take the plea. So he's trying to save his legacy.
So he's trying to get off with not guilty or no content or something like that, where he stand a better chance of all these civil cases being thrown out. He knows that more than likely he'll be charged with something. He just hoping the majority of the charges get thrown out and he can get less than them 10 years.
Girl, I don't know how this gonna end up. I don't know how this case gonna end.
But a lot of time when they don't take the deal, a lot of times if they found guilty, they get more than if they would have took the plea.
Oh yeah, he'll get more time. Because they was telling me I was about to do 30 years in jail for something I ain't even do. And then when they locked me up for some DVDs and married on the side of the highway, the goddamn rookie cop. Girl, my bill was $20,000 for some DVDs.
What is DVD?
DVDs. DVDs. I was doing documentaries, hosting lectures, and the guy pulled me over, and I had a couple DVDs that was like movies, and they locked me up, girl. Federal crime for some goddamn DVDs. Most of the DVDs were my DVDs, but the guy. The cop was a rookie cop, and I'll never forget the federal judge looked just like Obama, and he was shaking his head, giving me a sign like, "Do not plead guilty to this bullshit, because it was a violation of your rights. I'm throw this shit out." But girl, I was tired of driving from Charlotte to Maryland, so I had to keep going to court. I ain't know nothing about no federal crime, no shit, girl. They had me on the side of the highway, handcuffed, sitting on the side of the fucking road, put me in some racist. Girl, they put me in this racist ass jail.
Jerron, what did they think was on the DVDs?
Girl, when they saw them motherfucking DVDs, that's why my bill was $20,000. It was all kinds of Willie Lynch shit. It was documentaries on the white man. It's the devil. The black woman is God. Them type of documentaries. Okay. They locked my black ass up for that shit. Oh hell no, bitch! You ain't gonna get this information out to your people, girl. Yes.
They locked my black ass.
They expunged that shit. I got that shit expunged, but it was the principal. They did a mouth swab. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I ain't know nothing about no federal charge, no trademark, copyright, DVD. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Well, now you know.
But the pattern is every time I'm leaving a brother, I always went to prison. I never been to prison, but I always would go to jail. But I'm leaving a black man, and I'm always locked up. Right, as soon as I leave the motherfucker, I'm going to jail.
So you saying they called the police on you? Is that what you're saying?
I'm riding up, going to New York from Charlotte. The motherfucking cop
I
looked
hear
into
you,
my car and saw DVDs, cases and cases of DVDs. He
Oh
looked
my
over
goodness.
and pulled me
Somebody had to
over.
call.
And
Somebody had to
illegally.
call.
No,
Somebody had to
baby.
call that knows that you
Yeah,
could
that
get
don't sound right.
that
OG.
somebody called on you, baby. Somebody called
Yeah.
on you
Ain't
that
nobody
knew you would
called
get
Yeah.
on me.
stuck.
Let me finish the story. He illegally searched my car, took my fucking DVD documentaries, and he told me this is a high drug area. The reason why I pulled you over is because this is a really high drug area. I was going through the
shit.
tunnel, DC Maryland tunnel. So he
Well,
said
why,
it was a high drug
so
area.
why did you have to get it expunged? Why you couldn't get it thrown out? I'm not understanding why you were still charged though.
Because I got tired of going back and forth to court, so I took the plea to have it expunged. I waited a year and the judge expunged it. I don't know. I was young.
No, that was a setup.
World.
That was
Nah,
so
It don't
wrong.
matter. I
that
experienced
don't
it.
sound right.
It
That's
don't
crazy.
matter. And I
That sounds like
experienced it.
something like they did
The
to
first
me.
time
Like,
the first time I went to
Mm-mm.
jail, I was 16 in shackles, pregnant. The second time I went to jail, I was 18, pregnant, a nigga. Every time I went to jail was behind a fucking black man. It was never behind anything I fucking did, and that shit pisses me off. But I still love my brothers. So for the brothers to not like us, and
I hope you don't love the ones that was behind you being locked up. Because honey, I said, I hope you ain't got no love for the ones that was locking you up.
Hell no, fuck them niggas. No. I'm not. What I'm saying is, I would leave their presence. It's like the energy of me leaving them to go where I need to go. Next thing you know, here come the motherfucking police. I'm only telling you my experience and my journey with brothers. It never be something I'm doing. Because it's never nothing that I'm doing. It's always something involving these brothers.
Ain't nowhere in the world I'm going to jail for no man. Not a black man, a white man, a yellow man, a green man, a red man. Listen, this is the girl. She sound like she need to be on the episode of For My Man.
Nothing happened with me and the man. It's just that I noticed the pattern that when I was leaving the man,
it's the energy. I hear you, baby.
I
The
told
energy.
y'all it's the fucking energy. Maybe I should date a fucking Italian man. Maybe I should date
No,
an Asian man.
leave
Maybe I
it
should date a different type of man to see if it's the man for real.
But listen, but hold on.
Don't start sounding like
I'm
it's
say
all the
this
black men.
I dated outside my race. Listen, men are men, girl. Men are men. It's who you choose and who how you vet men. Because men are men. That it is horrible men in all races. Okay, it's how we pick, how we choose, what we allow them to do, what we allow to happen, and how we vet them. We have to be selective and better at how we vetting these guys, or how we choosing to stay in relationships with men that are narcissists, with men that are verbally, physically, mentally abusive. Meaning we as women, period.
I was young, but I noticed that. You know, and nobody came to get me. When you go in the hospital and get sick, when you go to jail, baby, nobody's there for you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we all make mistakes when we're young. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying we shouldn't be 40, 50, and all of that making the same mistakes that we made when I was 20, 30. Now that's the problem.
I totally agree with you,
When
OG.
you older, you do better, you know better. You know what I'm saying? I was young, but I noticed that, and my family noticed that. I've always been smart. I've always got money. I just always chose the wrong men.
and that just means that we got to look deep inside ourselves.
Yeah, I was young.
Why am I choosing and attracting these?
Daddy wasn't there. Cause Daddy ain't say this is the one, or don't touch. Don't deal with this type of guy. And my dad didn't set the standards for the man. He wasn't there, so I had to figure it out on my fucking own. And I think the reason why I can't bash or down or going on black men, because black men taught me the niggas I was dealing with. My baby daddies taught me everything I learned, because I ain't learned nothing from my parents. I learned it from the men. My baby daddy taught me how to cook. You know what I'm saying? His mama was teaching me shit. He teaching me stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't learn that. That's just my journey, my story. You know, I left home at a young age, so I had to figure it out in the streets on my own.
And your story is a lot of women's stories. You know, I'm fortunate that the father.
I'm the voice of.
This has been just a part of the breakdown of the Black nuclear family. You know, when the daddies are not in the homes, the boys and the girls suffer because the daddies are the leaders, the daddies are the disciplinaries, the daddies are the foundation, the daddies are the ones that, you know, that supposed to be there to lead the family and set the example. The daddies is the first man that the girl falls in love with.
There you go.
That shows her.
I have to probably beg to differ. I don't think
I
that it
agree
has
with
any.
you, baby. I think the mama's the leader. The mama always behind the man, and the man don't know what to do.
Well, I'm talking about, listen. I'm talking about when it comes to showing a woman how a man's supposed to treat her. That's her daddy. That's the first man.
Okay, I hear you.
I think that, as far as if we're talking about the dynamic of having a healthy family, because I see where my grandparents were married for 75 years and my other maternal was 42 years. So I know how a healthy family look. And I also seen parents married for 30 something years and their kids are corrupted. So I don't think that it has anything to do with a two family, like a two parent home. I think it has a lot to do with if it's a man, okay? Because it's just because a man's in the house doesn't mean it's a man that you want your children to be like. And by
No,
the
I
time that
agree
you
with
have
that.
children with them,
I mean, background in general. But in general, he don't have to be in a home.
Yeah. I was just saying that because I know we're on a podcast, so I was like, I just wanted to speak my piece on that. And because when people, not you, but you know, just in general, whoever do hear this later on, I hear a lot of Black men saying, oh, it's daddy problems, this and that. No, sometimes the daddy's in the house and he's either raping the girl or he's abusing the mother, and you go out there and he's a narcissist and everybody, oh yeah, it's a nice family, they've been married for a long time, and they're abusing the children. So just because there's a single mom or a single dad, sometimes the family, look at LeBron James, you know, and he found influence on how he do not want to be versus having a daddy in the home who probably was abusing his mother. So it goes both ways because that's a stereotype that's going around nowadays as me being a single mother now of 5. Where, oh, when they need a dad in the house. Well, not to me, but I just hear people saying that, oh, they need a dad in the house and blah, 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 blah. I totally will. I'm just not going to grab a man just to say, oh, I have a man, or, you know, I don't want to be a single mother. No, I stand on it that until a man, not just a male, a man, whether he's Asian, whether he's Black, whether he's white, whatever he is, whoever God sends to me is a man. And that's who I want my sons to be like. That's who I want my daughters to look up to, who they will feel safe around. I want a home is supposed to be a safe haven, not just for the world to say, oh, yes, it's a 2-parent household. And this is no, because I seen it. You know, I seen that it doesn't matter, you know, if it's a 2. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes you could even have a religious family and they come out corrupt. You could have a non-religious family. So is it exactly?
I think more of it came out of the religion and the church and the faith and the religion. I think more of the honestly. So you just spot on with that. I was saying, just have that man in the life of the children, particularly the father. But if not, try to put a male role model. It could be a brother, could be an uncle, could be, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Just a village, you know, a village of men, like, a coach. It could be
just a good example. That's what I had to do, baby. Your words was so me. Like I had to leave my my husband after 10 years, you know, because the abuse got so bad, and I never wanted another man in my home after that because, you know, I went and, you know, got a godfather, you know, Monterey Golden Coin Exchange, you know, somebody that went to work every day, had 2 businesses, of his own, and just a good example for them. It does not necessarily need to be in the home. Just a good example of people around is sufficient enough. It's way better than having a man in the home that's bringing a bad example. It's unhealthy.
Absolutely. I stayed in my relationship for 7-8 years, and it was me staying there for the children. And it was the most, I thought I was standing for, and when the children got older, they told me that one day he came in, was like, okay, y'all, I'm about to marry your mama. Do you know my kids start crying like, no, no. And
Oh, wow.
he looked like
What?
so depressed. He was so depressed. I never seen him look like that before. And I'm sorry, I started laughing. And so later on, I asked my children, I said, so y'all don't want me? They said no. To this day, they be like, are you sure you didn't marry him? I'm like, no, I did not marry him. No, I didn't.
Those babies knew what time it was, girl.
Yes, and I'm like, I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing by standing in this.
No,
because of the children, but my children have been flourishing ever since. And my daughter has straight A's, and my son, he got just about straight A's, and it's full of love now. Of course, I know I cannot be a man, and I cannot show them how to be a man. I could, I could tell them, but I can never show them. And that's the difference. So I know I need a man figure, a male, like anything. It's a male figure that they can go to, especially me having a teenage boy now.
So basically, we understand you're heterosexual. You want a man. You don't want a boy. You want a man. Because a lot of women don't want a man. Because Charlotte is like, she don't never.
I don't want one. I do not want one. I do not.
Tiffany is dating. Charlotte don't want no man, but me and Patrice, Patrice dating. Tiffany dating. I got a man.
I will never.
Don't want no man.
I will never.
I'll stick my toe out here and there, but as soon as I see a red flag, I go back.
Right? You don't want a man, do you? Do you want?
No. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
She finished.
I've been straight. I never ever wanted a woman. But the man, I really thought from the beginning, I had one boyfriend, my first, 15 till I was 28. And, young love, first love, whatever. We didn't have no kids. And next off, I got a stalker. I feel like he was a handler.
The guy oh Lord.
No, in Hollywood, no. My baby's daddy.
And she, I'm about to say, and I'm like, Charlotte, the man was bringing us food. Charlotte was like,
that man was another handler too. He was
OG. She had the handler bringing us food and shit.
No, I had people that came into my life, the two men so I had my first boyfriend, he was straight. He was just a boy. He didn't have nothing to do with this, but this Olympic gold medalist and this other Elon Musk manager, like, I really feel like they were put in my life to get rid of me and get my kids.
Charlotte,
what?
Are you Illuminati? Because you got one eye open and one eye closed.
honey, I was offered invitations of Illuminati about 8 times.
OG,
8 times.
Look at her picture. OG.
I told them to shove it up their ass. First, I wasn't answering. I wouldn't respond to their invitations, and you can't just ignore those people. They don't stop. You got to tell them to shove it up the ass.
And that's to send me emails in college and shit. And I used to be like, hold up. I done studied the bloodline families, and I look at the top, that shit said the Rothschild. I said, oh hell no. I was scared.
Hell no.
Hell no. They sending me letters and shit trying to recruit me. Would you like clean air? Would you like I was like, when I like clean air, I was like, yo, so where's the air cleaner at on the planet?
They make it sound real good, don't they? Oh, we'll connect you to the most.
Never have to worry about money again. I said,
Yeah.
no, I want this shit. I just don't want it their way. So I'm gonna print this shit out. And I wrote down all the benefits, of what they was trying to offer me from joining their fucking whatever, a cult, whatever it is.
They know who you are. They know they target certain people. And this is why they have schools. This is a whole reason why they have schools, and the colleges are only their indoctrination. They're there so they can get their pick of the people. And when they go, people don't know, but when they go into those ceremonies, they have to do oaths when they graduate and stuff. They wear pointed hats and shit. That's some witchery.
Oh, I know.
People don't even know what they're getting into.
That's why
all of that shit that they do.
I never joined no sororities. I never joined any.
That's their schools.
Like
That's their stuff.
I had the opportunity to join the Eastern Stars, which is
Me too, girl. My whole family, my mama, everybody in my family.
I don't get on with none of that. I've never felt the need to be accepted into those type of clubs or organizations.
You know why? Because we're the ones that they would sacrifice. We would be the ones that they would sacrifice. That's why. And the whole thing of it is they can't touch us if we don't give them an open door. But as soon as we go and step in it and play in their world, well, then that opens it up for them to be able to take us out. Because they can't just sacrifice somebody they can't. You have to give them a place, an open door.
Online, especially on YouTube, that used to be in either a sorority or fraternity that no longer in it. They disowned it. Anybody that used to be a Mason or Eastern Star, I watched those videos of people of why they left and.
My uncle.
Right. A lot of people don't know what it is until they get into it, and then they're like, wow, this is what it is. It's like they don't let you know. Just like the Masons, they don't let you know that you're honoring and worshiping the light of Satan until you get way up in the degrees, and then they let you know, you've been praising, this is who you've been praising. It's a trap.
Yeah.
And if you're not strong enough in your mind, they got you.
Okay, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna play Bob Marley's daughter. She's gonna talk about Diddy and why he is where he is, and then we're gonna go on Gene Dillon. Get up out of here, okay?
Get away with bad things that they've done. Like Sean Combs did some really bad things, and he has to be held accountable for that. But when I met Sean, he literally summoned me up to Harlem. I was hanging out at the Firehouse studio, and he was like, yo, Ruhawk. He was like, just like bearing his soul to me. He was like, I don't even, can I ever get out of this? He says, when I was 4 years old, he told me when he was 4 years old, he was used as a living altar. And I know exactly what that means. That's the most horrible thing anybody in this world could ever go through, especially a child. He wanted to know, what does it mean to have a soul? How do I know if I have a soul? Like, he was desperate for help, but he didn't make the right choices, and he has to be held accountable for the choices he made.
That is crazy, y'all. But hold on real quick. We're going to get right back to it. But listen, if he was on the altar at 4 years old, that's like a ritual, right? Satanic. However, his father was gone. His father was dead by the time he was 4, if I'm not mistaken. But who else could have been? This is all allegedly. But who is the person that could have made this happen? You got it right. Mama Combs. Now, let's not forget about this video right here, baby. Let's go.
Mom's a single. I ain't gonna hate on my moms. She's single. Me and my mom talked about one time doing a dating show with her. And she's so picky. They don't stand. But yeah, that'd be the funniest show in the world.
It will be.
Especially with me.
I don't even want to get started with you doing that. We're not doing that. Cause yeah, my mom's single. Yeah, for real. Mom Duke know how to have a good time. She ain't sitting in the house playing. They outside moving and shaking, baby. She come with me to strip club. I don't care. For real. It's my dog. You know, I want to live life. Be out here moving and grooving. So my mom told me, she just said, keep moving, baby.
That's right.
Keep moving.
Don't stop.
She could touch the floor with her palms. You know? Flat. Oh! Take pew, pew, pew.
I saw children turn into abusers, and not because they wanted to. And I think that children that were abused, that got looped into the system, the sadistic system, I think that they absolutely have to have some kind of special circumstances and some kind of help. And I'm not saying that they should get away with bad things that they've done. Like Sean Combs did some really bad things, and he has to be held accountable for that. But when I met Sean, he literally summoned me up to Harlem. I was hanging out at the Firehouse Studio with the Wu-Tang Clan, and he had heard that, you know, I was Bob's daughter and that I had went through all this horrible abuse and that I had kind of gotten out of it and survived it. And so he wanted to know if he could ever have a normal life. And so he summoned me up to Harlem. He had his thugs with the boop, boop thing, whatever, the checker, to see if I had any weapons on me. And we stood in a vacant lot with his people all around. And he was like, yo, Ruhawk. He was like, you know, just like bearing his soul to me. He was like, I don't even, you know, can I ever get out of this? You know, he says, when I was 4 years old, he told me when he was 4 years old, he was used as a living altar. And I know exactly what that means. That's the most horrible thing anybody in this world could ever go through, especially a child. He wanted to know, what does it mean to have a soul? How do I know if I have a soul? Like, he was desperate for help, but he didn't make the right choices, and he has to be held accountable for the choices he made. But at the same time, we have to recognize that he was a child victim. And even if he dies in prison behind prison bars, there should be some kind of help for people that were victimized as children that want to reclaim their soul. They want to put themselves back together. They want to escape the sadistic system. If we're going to move forward, we can't leave the childhood victims behind, because it's not fair. Because they're drugged into it, they're looped into it, they're videotaped, and then they're controlled. All of these people that you see, whether they're in the music industry or whether they're in the entertainment industry, they've all been drugged, they've all been manipulated, they've all been coerced, and then they've all been videotaped, and they're all owned and controlled. And you can see it. You don't need me to tell you about it. You can see how they all start out so cute and so pretty and so innocent and so young. They just want to buy a house for their mother. And then they end up doing the most demonic stuff in front of the whole world. Like, how did that happen? You know, so until we figure out how to start making some kind of society where we have educated, professional, trained, stable individuals that know how to deal with people that are coming from this sadistic world and this sadistic abuse, that we can help them, teach them how to put themselves back together and heal from it. We have to break the cycle.
Now, this is all alleged, but how many times many people saying the same thing about this industry? Like I said, it is a pattern. Different people, different human beings, but the same patterns. So something has to be true about this thing. People go into the industry be wanting to be, you know, to fulfill their dreams and buy their mother a house. And somehow during that journey, you start seeing these satanic signs. They start doing things that they haven't done before, or not as that much, like drugs, excessive drinking, so forth. So you get what I'm saying? Now, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So listen, man, Mama Combs, you could tell she's a fine lady, but you could tell she about that. You know what I mean? She's about that action, and you know what I mean, freak offs and all that stuff. Look at this picture right here. Don't forget, cause Diddy like them females with the white nail polish, and like Diddy said, she be out there shaking and moving, and she could bend over and touch the floor with her palms, and she said flat. So listen, man, your child is the reflection of your parents. Never forget that. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Please make sure you like, you share, and subscribe, man. And I'm out. Peace.
Okay, so let's get into what's got the internet buzzing right now. The confrontation between Uncle Gene Deal and YouTuber Do Not outside the courthouse during Diddy's ongoing trial today. Now, according to multiple videos making rounds on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, Dean Deal, yes, Diddy's former bodyguard, if y'all don't know, and longtime truth teller, was approached by Donut, who's been filming and covering the case heavy. And baby, it did with words. It didn't end with words. You can hear Gene say, "Leave me alone." You can see the energy rise, and the next thing you know, it's lights out. Donut allegedly got knocked out cold. So was it self-defense, ladies, or was it an OG snapping from pressure and disrespect, or was it just built up energy from years of being silenced and watching people play games with the serious case? So now Donut has been known to push buttons. Some call it journalism, others call it clout chasing, but one thing's clear, Gene wasn't having it. So this moment is now trending. Some people are praising Gene for standing firm and protecting his peace. Others are saying violence ain't the answer, even when you're provoked. But here's the deeper question. How much pressure can these industry insiders take when they've been carrying secrets for decades? And how should we handle confrontation in a time when everybody's recording, everybody's triggered, and the internet never forgets? So, sisters, let's talk about
Shout out to
it.
Wanda Bread. Okay, I think this is it right here.
Bro, listen. We out here what kind of content? You're not gonna tell me what to do.
You can't come up on me.
Bro, listen.
If you come up on me, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
That's what I say.
That's what I say. That's what I say. That's what I say. No, bro, shit. I said I'm a miss. You gonna misgender me now? Now it's fucking anti-Asian because I'm Asian. So now you harassing me. I am protected by anti-Asian hate.
Go down the road
now
with
you
that.
misgenderizing.
I'm not the type of dude that you can come up on like
Bro,
this.
listen. We out here what kind of content? You're not gonna tell me what to do.
You can't come up on me.
Bro, listen.
If you come up on me, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
That's what I say.
You gonna
That's
do
what I say. That's what I say. That's what I say. No, bro, shit. I said I'm a miss. You gonna misgender me now? Now it's fucking anti-Asian because I'm Asian. So now you're harassing me. I am protected by anti-Asian hate.
Look, he done went up there and found people crazier than his ass. Apparently this YouTuber was messing with that Asian lady. I guess she's trans. I don't know. My whole thing is, you got some balls doing that in New York. They will knock your ass out. They gets down for real up there. No guns, no weapons, all hands and feet. Gene big as hell. All he got to do is grab him. It's over with. Look, he finally picked a fight with a man. Yes, he did. Well, that ain't the first time, but Gene, I thought Gene was 6'9", so Gene is 6'8". Nonetheless, Gene is a big guy. Like, everybody not playing with you. I understand. You know, this YouTuber here is like a better looking version of Wiley. Okay. So I get that, like, he's crazy, he's deranged, he's insane. And I get that, like, he's doing it for content and he wants to go viral. I get it. He was messing with Tisa too. See, my whole thing is, though, everybody not playing with you. Everybody's not playing with you. And Gene, yeah, let me tell you something. When Gene came in my apartment, when I had the apartment in Buckhead, he had to like do this to walk to like come in the door. He had to like dip his head down. And he all legs. Because when he sat down, me and him don't look that far apart. So I said, oh, okay, he's all legs. He has really, really long legs. So like you got some big ass balls to be trying Gene. And you bother Gene. Gene knock you out, and Gene not gonna go to jail. He gonna knock you out and gonna keep moving because niggas get knocked out in New York City every day. I remember that Aaliyah TV. I remember that. So he got the clout he wanted. He gonna go viral. I just like a whole bodyguard is wild.
Go down the road again. I'm not the type of dude that you can come up on like Bro, this. listen. We out here what kind of content. You're not gonna tell me what to do. You can't come up on me. Bro, listen. If you come up on me, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
That's what I say. That's what I say. That's what I say. No, bro, shit. I said I'm a miss. You gonna misgender me now? Now it's fucking anti-Asian because I'm Asian. So now you harassing me. I am protected by anti-Asian hate.
Go down the road
now
again.
All right. Let me see if there's any other videos of that.
It's a storm show. It's a storm show.
Oh shit, OG, okay. We saw a little bit of action. I wanted to see him knock his ass out.
So shout out to Storm My Road, girl. You better get these people they shout out for you today.
I put it in the
because I don't know if Storm or like your channel. You better, I don't know if Storm is a type.
It's okay. But Storm is cool. Man, I ain't nobody. Who the fuck am I? I ain't trying to hurt. They probably come for people to break bread with them when they got a whole bunch of motherfucking followers.
Nah, I'm saying them strike. It depends. They strike little channels, medium channels.
I don't even gonna think that. I'll tell y'all about it when it happened. I don't be thinking like that.
I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know if he that tight because I know like Tasha K will strike, that had TV will strike. A lot of them bigger ones they will strike. That's all I'm saying.
Talk about it on here. We can talk about that off the show. You messing up my vibe, girl. I ain't thinking about them motherfuckers. They getting their bag. I ain't doing this for money. I'm doing this.
But if they strike your channel, won't it take your channel?
I don't know. I don't be thinking like that. I play this shit all the time. I've been doing this for a minute. I mean, I ain't never had no strike. Nobody thinking about my black ass, girl. Bye.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna buy. So but the whole.
Anyway, so I just want to see. I thought I was gonna see. I only played Storm because that's the only video that I saw that was talking about it, and I thought we was gonna see him knock him out. So.
Okay, so
can I say something real quick? Beautiful, beloved ladies. Can I rewind just a little tiny bit? I just wanted to say I really loved what Bob Marley's daughter said about people needing healing. And that kind of like gets to the root of what I was talking about the other day. There's a root of the reason why people are acting this way. They were abusers usually, they were abused. And I just want to say I really, really liked what she said, and it was right on point. And that's all I wanted to say.
Because in America, they just let you go to jail, you ride, you sit for 20, 30, 50 years, then they never rehabilitate you, just like in the military.
Yeah.
And then when they drop your ass off from a war, they don't even deprogram you. Now, this is what you got out here, a bunch of killers.
Right.
They come from the wars to the police force to the damn law enforcement with their mindset, and they just will shoot you. This is why we got so many shut up. They haven't even deprogrammed the mindset.
Yes.
It's scary out here.
They know what they're doing. It's all the plan. It's all part of that plan. It's crazy.
Times the police pulled out guns on me and had the wrong house. Like literally banging on my door. It's the police. Guns out. I'm shaking. And they had the wrong fucking house. And they never fucking apologize. Ever.
Well, I agree with that analysis that Bob Marley's, is it her daughter, his daughter or granddaughter?
his daughter. The daughter that I never knew nothing about.
Yeah,
do you know her name?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Don't
Okay.
nobody know nothing about Sarah, but she knew Diddy.
She was on point.
What she's saying is, and then she also mentioned and it was like an hour long. I didn't play the whole thing. That Bob Marley was sacrificed because Bob Marley didn't want to participate in the sickness of the industry, and that's why they took him out. Not because he was a revolutionary waking the world up. It's because he didn't want to participate. She said, "My dad didn't want to participate in that shit, and that's why they took my father out."
Well, I agree with the part that she was saying about, yeah, we need to, get the help to those that's been victimized. But unfortunately, like you were saying, Sharon, the prison system does not rehabilitate. It doesn't. And they always talk about criminal justice reform, this and that and the other, but the reform is not even working. The whole damn system needs to be dismantled and rebuilt. That's what needs to happen.
That's what I'm saying, OG. Thank you. Tear it all down.
I think
reform does not work. And unfortunately, when you get people like the Diddys of the world that has been created into the monsters that they are, a lot of times they will die who they are, you guys. They are too far gone.
I feel that. I feel that, OG. But yet still there should be a system in place of reform, because some will.
But I'm telling you, the reform does not work. How many reforms has the prison and criminal justice system has had? And it's never been a benefit to Black people. Never. It doesn't work. That's why I'm saying it needs to be destroyed and rebuilt and redesigned.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any of their whack ass programs that are made to. It's sabotage is what that is. But the thing of it, they're harvesting out of those cells. They're loose, their negative energy. What I'm talking about is real healing through frequency, real healing, like med beds, stuff that's going to reconnect DNA, stuff that's going to recode the mind, like the sigils and the programs that they put on the TVs and the video games that, incite all this violence and craziness. And then you got all these shows on TVs. Now, I didn't watch TV my whole life. And now I started watching since 2019. It's crazy. They're showing people fucking and all this shit. And the kids are watching this stuff. It's like, what is going on? It's crazy. And it's all by design. It's all by design. They desensitize people to seeing people being murdered and shot, and nobody damn cares. Like you see a whole. Let me just wrap it up with this real quick. Let me just finish my sentence real quick. You see a whole movie of people getting murdered and shot down. It's a whole desensitizing thing. Then you see a cat get run over in the driveway, and everybody's all heartbroken because a cat got murdered. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't watch the whole movie of people getting murdered, and nobody, nobody cares. It's desensitized. They do it on purpose.
Unfortunately, they care more about animals and animals and saving the animals more so than they do the human beings, right? So I want to ask you.
Humans act like animals, though. So
But some and worse, right? So we all believe in good and evil, correct?
This is correct. It's got to be one way and the other. It's got to be like the yin and the yang, because how do we know what's good if there is no bad? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with that being said, it is destined that everybody is not going to be good and everybody ain't going to be evil. There are people that there is no hope for. There are people that there is no change for. And these are the people that are ruled and dominated by Satan. They are demons walking the earth amongst us, you guys. And there are people like that are just, there is no hope for. Just like when Satan fell and he took a third of the angels, there's no hope for them. They are destined for hell. There are people that is walking the earth that are like that. And when we get that and understand that, we can't
maybe I understand that. This is what I've been doing my whole life, fighting against these things.
Everybody don't want love.
It's the people without soul. It's the people that don't got soul.
Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do on the planet. If
Let
the
me
Most
tell
High
you,
gave
anytime
this to Satan, I ain't trying to wake these motherfuckers up. You can't wake no fucking body up. Leave them where the fuck they at. They want to worship demons and
I'm sick of the whole we gotta save everybody and I love everybody. Let me tell y'all, I don't want everybody saved because everybody can't be saved because there are demons amongst us that will not be saved. And guess what? I don't love everybody because guess what? Everybody don't love me. And I'm not going to love nobody that don't love me because I know a lot of times my spirit aggravates demons. My spirit aggravates demons. And when I see that and I know that, I stay the fuck away from it because I have to protect my energy, my space, my aura, because there are evil in people, demonic spirits in people. And let me tell you something, narcissistic people are always on demon time.
And they will kill you. So stay the fuck away from them.
Really, they can't touch people that are really in the right space. This is what I'm saying. That's why I don't fear those things. They run from me. Those people are overtaken by entities.
It's not about fear. It's about you don't need to be around that energy, period. It's not about being afraid. I'm not afraid of them. It's just that
I don't think you're afraid of anything, OG.
Right. When you see that their spirits aggravating your demons, those people can put you in positions where you are harmed. And if you know and can read spirits, if you have a spirit of discernment to know that about people, that's your decision to stay away from that type of evil spirit. And there are evil spirits walk amongst us and human beings every day of our lives. That is why we have people that are doing what they're doing to women and children. That's why. So the people of the demons of the world that we know are of that same demonic spirit, no, I don't pray for him. There is no hope. I don't care what nobody say. He is one of those people that has sold his soul to Satan, and he will be cast down with Satan and his angels. I firmly believe that people like him that are that demonic and that psychotic, there is no redemption for them. The word talks about that. I can agree with that. On it, and I believe that. And I'm not the one to say I love everybody and I just want everybody to get along. No, I
am, OG. I'm one of those people. But you know what? When I say that, I'm not talking about the soulless people that are going to get recycled. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people with soul. I'm not talking about the people that given themselves over to demonic possession.
But when you say everybody, you're saying everybody. When you say
this is what I'm saying is those people they're not real people. They don't have soul. They're clones. Those people they're not people. They're just like in video games, the people that wandering around that don't have nobody controlling them. That's what I'm talking about. They're going to be recycled.
I see it. Listen, we ain't even right. Have y'all ever felt that from somebody since y'all been? Let me say this. Have y'all ever felt that from a person just being on a panel with them or being in this space of social media? You can feel it through the wave of the internet. You can feel it through. All you got to do is share certain conversations, certain auras. Watch how they move.
Conversation. They're gonna let you know about a conversation
because they can't hide it.
Nope.
They cannot hide it. Eventually, you're gonna see the real them. That's why a lot of people that I talked about on these different panels that are of this narcissistic demonic force, those people can't hide who they are. That's who they are in real life. Is who they know on the internet, and that's
true, OG. They can only hide for so long, and then all the colors start flying. That's so true.
Yeah.
That mask falls off, y'all, and I see it, and I feel, and I said that about you, Charlotte. I even told Sharon, you are a deep empath.
Yeah.
And I know how things affect empaths. Me being one, I ask and pray.
I didn't even want to be involved in any of this from the beginning. I didn't want to be involved. I didn't care about any of it. Like I said, remember, like this beautiful woman that got up on here, she's like, I don't even follow this. I don't even know what's going on. That was that was like my words. I don't know what's going on with all this stuff, but now I'm involved. I'm looking around and seeing what's going on, because my whole life I've known that these people, we walked away. I walked away. I knew that was my blood in the sand in that movie. That movie never got made. I knew. And so this is it. I was been waiting for all these people. Oh, and Oprah was number one on my list, because I really felt that she made a deal with my ex and they wanted my babies. And when I didn't agree with that, I was put on the list too. You know what I mean? These people, they don't have souls, OG. And I really feel, I totally agree with what you say. I totally agree with what you say. They're never going to be rehabbed. I don't pray for anyone. Matter of fact, after I'm not being religious and praying for most of my whole entire younger life, I don't pray for shit. I speak things into existence with the power of my word.
When I found out that Prince, do y'all know that most of Prince's brothers and sisters are dead? Deceased over that catalog. They wiped out his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Only a couple.
I think he got some half ones. Yeah, he got some half ones that's left, because
they come for your whole bloodline, baby. When they come,
the one sister that him and her shared the same parents, she just passed recently. Yeah. So that was
right after his catalog, right after
they were fighting over but the sister that him and her shared the same mother and father, she was over everything, right? So because they actually shared the same mom and dad, and then now the estate is going to be split between the half sisters and stuff like that are and brothers that are left. Allegedly is what they're saying.
What happened to his son? Didn't he have a son that popped up out of nowhere?
Well, it's always going to be some crazy person saying that they Prince's child.
Did you hear about that, OG?
Yeah, I heard about it, but I don't think
Janet Jackson's supposed to have a daughter out there.
Have any kids?
We already know his tooth blanket.
The child that he had with my tie passed away. It had a rare deformity disease and it passed away from it. That's the only child I know that Prince ever had.
Yeah. I watched the documentary on Prince. I love me some. Prince was the only man that could wear makeup and heels and get the flyest chicks.
Oh my goodness!
And was he bad or was
that boy was? He was
my man.
My girlfriend lived in Minnesota, and she was my Ty's nurse, y'all, and she told me the story of how when she was pregnant, how when she would come to see her OBGYN, right, at the clinic where she was going, my BFF was her nurse during that time, and what she said, Prince would have his limo park around the back of the clinic to bring her in, through, so she would come through the back entrance. And she said that she don't know if this was told by Prince for her to do or by it was her culture, but she never ever could look my girlfriend up in the face, and my girlfriend had to sign an NDA to never ask her anything about Prince or their marriage or relationship. It had to strictly be only about the baby, the health of the baby, what's going on with the baby. That was it. That was all. But my BFF was her nurse in Minnesota for many years prior to her giving birth to her son that was born with that rare deformity. And Prince used to bring and would sit in the limo in the back, because they would come around the back of the clinic, and he would sit out there and wait for her to have her appointment and everything with the OBGYN and all of that. And she would leave and get back. Yeah, I'll go back out the back and get in the car, and they would drive off. But she had to sign an NDA, because she and Mai Tai could not look up at her. She had to keep her head down and talk.
I got pictures. My ex-husband, he was a truck driver, so we had to go to Minnesota for a delivery. And girl, we went on Prince's birthday. Don't you know my balloon? I bought balloons and flowers. They put the balloons in the museum, so my balloons is in the museum. I got pictures of the bus outside of his house. Oh my God, the gate. I gotta once I find the pictures, I'll post them. Yes, yeah. And it was around this time. It was his birthday when we went to his home, girl. When I went to Minnesota, you talking about the vegetation there. I love Minnesota, the lakes, and girl, to breathe. I don't know. I could breathe. I felt like I could fly in Minnesota. The air was so pure out there. I love Minnesota's air.
Well, now we're gonna have to go visit. I never wanted to go there because that's where Calvin was. Now he left.
No, I don't want
to go to Minnesota now that he's gone because the state wasn't big enough.
We need to
I was going to his museum, right? Like I do. And then, of course, I told y'all my ex, worked for Prince at Paisley Park Records. So, and I told you, matter of fact, that's when him and Angie was working together. Him and Angie Stone
sessions. I just called James to come on. I'm gonna get James on. His first cousin is the drummer of the Roots, and he used to go to Prince's house to the jam sessions. Girl, we missed out. That's why I said, Lord, if I have to come back here and be recycled, I just know that it's a lot of opportunity I missed out on.
No, this ain't happening this time, baby. You ain't getting recycled. This ain't happening this time.
Did y'all see where D'Angelo had to back out of the Roots picnic thing that's coming up because of his medical conditions or something? He got health conditions.
Girl, Angie, really? Angie getting that ass in his sleep. Angie fucking his ass up. Let me stop. Because,
that picnic thing outside in Philly every year.
Angie talked about how they was trying to set her ass up. Remember, she dropped the secret on his ass and what he was trying to do and how they was using him against her. So, Angie probably tearing that ass up. And I hope she tear a couple of more asses up for fucking over her situation, though, for real. Because these YouTube streets don't make no sense in how they carrying on with that girl's, with her estate. It's just sad.
Oh, so to get back, not to change the subject, but to change the subject. The Denot and Gene Deal situation. Y'all know Gene Deal, my bro, right? I don't even know. What I heard on the YouTube streets is that allegedly Gene Deal really did hit.
He knocked them out. Yeah,
he knocked them out. It's that. Oh God.
That's what it's saying. It's saying it.
I rock with my bro Jay Deal, right? Like y'all know, listen, this man was Diddy's bodyguard. He's bodyguarded many other celebrities as well. Like a man that's 6'8", tall, and what he been in law enforcement. Like,
yeah, what's wrong with do that?
You don't want to mess with that. I'm really hoping that that didn't happen. That the knot stayed away from.
The knot got a knot for real.
Really took what Gene said serious. Is like, don't come near his person. Don't come near him in his space or whatever. That wouldn't be a smart thing to do. So I'm hoping this rumor that I'm hearing on YouTube about Gene Deal knocking him out is not true, and that they told Gene to stay away from the courts, but it was no arrest or something thus far. That's what I heard on the YouTube streets. I don't know how true it is, but yeah. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But that lady that was going crazy. I saw a video of her and the Not arguing earlier on another platform. So they had already got into it on outside the courtroom on somebody else's platform. I watched that. So maybe when she was coming out the door when him and Gene was having their altercation, that she just jumped in and out of nowhere because she was already mad at the Knot because they had another incident prior to that. And it's crazy, but yeah, I'm just hoping that it's just a rumor that there was no violence or anything like that, because I already know Gene is going to protect his person. If you come in close to him and he's asking you not to, if you asking a person, don't come up on me in my space up close to me, I'm really hoping that did not do that, and that Gene did not knock him out, and that rumor is not true. I really hope that. Yeah, not good.
No, he should have taken his warning, because that man sure did sound serious.
Gene knocked that man out. Gene knocked that man out. Yo, why Tough News be getting the news late? Because he be posting stuff late. I'm like, damn, Tough News, this shit been came out.
Well, that's because he wait to everybody else. I guess say what they gonna say, and then he give his spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you mostly do what I do, play mostly everybody else's videos until you're able to play your own. That shit takes time. You gotta put that energy, you gotta put that work in. Unless you're gonna just be a commentary and just talk. Just talk. Just talk. I'm not a narcissist, so I don't got time to just be talking to people, talking. Because I'll be feeling like, why am I talking all the time?
Right. Did y'all hear about y'all know Jaheim got arrested for animal cruelty, right? Yeah, in Atlanta.
Stop playing, yo. Stop playing.
He got arrested. Listen, Jaheim, the singer, one of the animals ended up passing. He had 9 dogs, y'all, in his place, and filled
the Edie's of Wakanda.
Neglected. They was abused. He's in prison now. 9 dogs.
Look at Jaheim.
Oh, that's so sad. I can't stand it when people abuse animals. You know what? Most of my life, I love animals more than humans. I think that's so sad, but it's true. I have to admit it.
Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people, because they say, animals love you unconditionally, and people let you down and hurt you and break you all the time.
And then they can talk to telepathic, they're telepathic.
No water. No water.
They heal you.
One of the dogs passed away, and he had, I think,
he was arrested 3 years ago, and he did it again.
Exactly. Y'all, is it me?
3 years ago.
Answer this. Is it me, or does Jaheim look like he's going through something mentally? He's looking like something is going on with him.
He starved 15 dogs 3 years ago. He starved 15 dogs and one died 3 years ago. And now he just got arrested again. 6 counts of animal cruelty.
He needs to leave the dogs alone. He don't know how to take care of the animals.
What is he doing?
Yeah, they need to ban him for owning animals, specifically dogs.
Ban him from owning animals. They need to write that in the damn thing, like how they say people can't have guns. Nigga, you can't have a dog. Come on.
Why Nick Cannon having more babies, Nick?
Come on now, you already know what we talk about when Brother Leon was on this platform, and we talked about Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is a narcissist. He's self-proclaimed. He said he's certified, and he uses not marrying these women as an excuse to just go around and be a community dick slinger that he is, and having all these babies by these women that will allow it. And he don't mind paying the child support or whatever because he got the money. But that's what he does. He uses that as an excuse. Oh, I don't want to get married, but I want to have a bunch of kids. Okay, I can see if you want to have a bunch of kids and you love kids that much, but why can't you have them with one woman? Like, why are you around here spreading your seed, making these what y'all calling single baby mamas that y'all want to talk about because they opening their legs to Nick Cannon, but y'all ain't talking about how Nick Cannon is being a community dick slinger, spreading his seed all in different women.
Don't he got a health problem? He got health issues.
He got lupus.
How you gonna be making all them babies with lupus, a blood disease, boy?
Oh wow!
Come on now.
You know what? You know what's gonna happen? Those babies, they ain't even gonna know if they're brother and sister, and then I guarantee you, one of them gonna end up fucking each other. I swear. That's what happened to my brother's wife. She had a man up in the room.
That's what he claims. But one of his babies died. One of his babies died.
Yeah.
I remember when one died, Usher baby passed, Monica's baby passed.
I think that is not a coincidence. I think that they sacrificed it. I think that has to do with sacrifice because right after that, he got his own damn show.
I don't know, but
I was feeling some kind of way about that shit. Sometimes when I hear
a nefarious, narcissistic, I can't with him. Like he disgusts me. So
I'm right there with you, OG. I felt some kind of way when that baby died. It was something wrong. There was something wrong about that. I felt it.
You know, you hear social media and the manosphere and these red pill, blue pill men talk about baby mamas like they ain't nothing, but they won't take accountability and talk about the men that are leaving these women, single women, because they're being community dick slingers, like I said, slinging their dick, putting their seed in anything. And that's exactly what Nick Cannon is doing, and making an excuse for leaving them single baby mamas is because he don't want to get married, but he want a bunch of kids. Miss me with it. It's a hypocrisy.
Wasn't him and Mariah Carey never was married?
Yeah, that was the only woman.
They were married for a long time.
He don't want to get married anymore.
Tell me why people
he don't want to get married anymore. Listen, narcissistic men like him, Neo, are making excuses. Neo cheated through all the relationship. Now he using the poly lifestyle for the reason why he want to have all these women. That's all it is.
Neo is bisexual. So how is these women? They talk about Neo is a polygamist. He got all these women. 4 women.
When did that ever matter, though? When did that ever matter? He cheated out of all his marriages, relationships, whatever it was that he had, and now he don't want to marry no more. And he using the poly lifestyle to have an excuse to have all these women. This is what these narcissistic men do.
He don't even want a woman, sis, and he got 4. This is crazy. This world is terrible, bro.
I was a marriage officiant, and after reading all the laws and stuff, it ain't nothing but a trap. It's a government contract, and I wouldn't suggest anybody to get married, period. That part, it's creepy when you go into that.
That's cool, but don't use the poly life as an excuse for not wanting to get married.
I feel you, OG.
Most people in poly relationships are married. They usually go where they can marry multiple women, like the Mormons do.
Yes, ma'am.
So to me, it's an excuse. It's bullshit that they use because they just want to have different women.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And that's a very selfish choice.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, until
3 years ago, he killed 15 dogs 3 years ago. He starved 15.
So why did they ever allow this man to be an animal owner ever again?
Why again, dummy? This nigga is retarded.
I'm telling y'all, he looks
he don't
mentally.
look right. Look at his eyes. You look in his eyes. He don't look right.
That picture I saw him, something's going on with that brother.
Yeah.
Like for real. These black men need to realize and own up to the mental health that they need. They need it.
Look at him. He don't look right. Jaheim do not look right in this picture right here, bro.
Something is seriously wrong with a lot of these brothers.
Yeah.
They're missing some genes. They only got a Y. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff missing. And it was missing from the beginning.
Mental health is real.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sorry, but they stop using the poly life and stop using, I want to have a bunch of babies, but no baby, but no marriage or commitment to the women. That's not even a commitment to the women. The only commitment is
a real commitment.
Them pregnant and paying child support. That's it. That's it. He screwed a different women, get them pregnant, pay child support. That's it. He's not.
Look, Jaheim gonna be in jail going.
But it seems like the women like that though. OG, it's like the women know what they're signing up for.
Patrice, Jaheim doing it too. Jaheim gonna be in jail going.
I ain't never heard them do that. I only heard Luther do that.
Hell yeah, that nigga, yeah, he sound like Luther. He gonna be singing Luther in that jail cell. Nigga, you killed 15 dogs 3 years ago. You ain't learned then, my nigga. 15 dogs 3 years ago, he starved, and now he back in jail behind the dogs.
I know him and Tyrese was up for the part to play Teddy Pendergrass, and Tyrese got it. So, cause I don't know something happened with Jaheim. He just like fell off and like went into something. I don't know.
He looked unhealthy by the face.
And he looked like something mentally is going on with that brother.
That stare, he got that stare in his eyes.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
there has to be something wrong with him if he's starving dogs.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, that something is wrong. You can't. People don't just starve animals. You don't do that if you're in your right mind.
Most serial killers start with abusing animals, and now look.
That
is so true. That is so true, Sharon.
Shit, he might have some bodies out there. I don't know. Allegedly, shit.
I'm seeing it in the behavior of a lot of these brothers.
Eyes, y'all. Look
at them in entertainment. They are so messed up mentally, yo. I mean, I'm seeing it in general, even out in just regular lifestyles of men. But man, I'm telling you, men, they really need to do better and get on their mental health, because it's a lot of them, man. They messed up, and the thing about it is, they take no accountability, no onus and ownership to it, and they want to shift the blame on women. And I'm sorry, you got to deal with your own issues, because we dealing with ours. We're being advocates for mental health and things like that. You don't see men doing that.
Yeah,
I don't see that. But you know what, Sharon? It seems like a lot of these women want to be in that position. They don't mind. It seems like a lot of these women don't mind. They know what them men are about. Nick, these women, they know what Nick is about, and they still lay on down and spread the legs on out because they're fine with that paycheck. I think a lot of the women
that's what
do it on purpose.
They opportunists and they gold diggers, and here's a paycheck for them for at least 18 to 21 years. Okay.
Exactly. So it goes both ways. It's like they're in agreement with it. They're fine with it, or they wouldn't be in that situation. I mean, I'm sure maybe, a couple of them, was naive or whatever, but, for the most part, you think that, you can't be that naive, that ignorant. You know what I mean? You know what's up.
No.
And they're fine with it. They want that bag, Opportunists, like you said, OG, exactly.
They're gonna have a baby with just anybody. If they're gonna have a baby with somebody, they're
gonna have it with somebody that can afford to pay.
To suffer, because we have children. We know damn well it don't cost that much money to raise a child. These women getting $10,000 a month child support checks from the time the baby born. That money is for the future, for their bags, for their Gucci, for their shoes, and
that's what they do. A majority of it going shopping, buying designer clothes, getting their hair nails.
They ain't doing shit for the community.
Buying cars and shit.
Girl.
Yeah. But you know what? If they like it, I love it. It just diminishes the culture. It diminishes, their generation. It shows you where they are. They're very narcissistic, very materialistic, right? Very delusional, and they ain't got their priorities together.
Delusional. I would say no to all that shit. No, all of it. I don't care what you offer me under this sun. No is the answer.
All right. Well, on that note, thank you all for coming out tonight. It's past our bedtime. I don't know what time it is on y'all time, but I know what time it is on Central time.
What time is it? It's 11:25.
Yeah, baby, we're on the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, well, this was an interesting conversation.
It's later for you. It's what, like
1:25. So I'm about to get out of here and.
All right, sis, I'm gonna let you close down. Love you, ladies. Y'all have a good night.
Love you, OG. Rest well, mama.
Tomorrow,
rest well, babies.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Later, babies. Rest well.
Later. Thank you, girls, for coming out tonight, ladies. Well, this has been Sharon's experience, Sharon's voice. I thank you guys for tuning in to Street Talk Daily, where the truth lives, the streets speak, and the silence ends. We don't just cover the news, we uncover the agenda. We challenge the system, and we speak for the voiceless. So if tonight moved you, drop a comment, share this episode, and hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe bell. This isn't entertainment. This is elevation. This is enlightenment. We cover it all right here, you guys. When we get the opportunity to come together, we come and we talk about the things that people don't want to talk about from our experience, you know? And this is exactly what they don't want to hear. So until next time, keep your mind sharp, keep your spirit strong, and never forget your voice matters. I'm Sharon Voice. I'm Sharon. I'm Mecca L. And this is Street Talk Daily. We'll be back louder than ever. Until next time. Y'all be safe out there. Peace. And have a great, great evening. Great night. All right.